My wife is a beautiful CEO. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 801 A City Wall. Su Chen looked helpless. Although he was disgusted in his heart, he still shouted softly, "Flying star." Suddenly, a force of formation enveloped Cheng Xiansun in an instant. Cheng Xiansun, who had no power to resist, was directly pulled back by Su Chen. Bang! The huge Akala, waving the huge demon subduing pestle, suddenly missed. The demon subduing pestle slammed into the ground. Boom! The ground exploded instantly. A big pit appeared, and dust rose. Cheng Xiansun was saved, and breathed a sigh of relief. "Brother, I'm ashamed of you." Cheng Xiansun's face rarely showed some shame. He didn't expect that this ordinary looking skinny old man would have such a high attainment in formation. "It doesn't matter." Su Chen smiled. "You did a good job. The opponent is a master of formation. You can do this to this extent, which is beyond my expectation. Just when you can't beat it, don't be so foul-mouthed. Maybe it's safer." Cheng Xiansun smiled awkwardly, scratched his head and said, I saw you." At this time, on the other side, Yan Maohua's face turned cold. He looked at Su Chen with anger on his face. "Boy, you dare to interfere in my battle? So what if you interfere?" Su Chen asked calmly. Cheng Xiansun was his own man, and he couldn't just sit back and watch. Even if this skinny old man might not kill him, it would be embarrassing. What's more, Cheng Xiansun was fighting for him. Seeing Su Chen's attitude, Yan Maohua's face became more gloomy. "You are looking for death." Su Chen sneered. "That depends on whether you have the ability." Yang Maohua narrowed his eyes. "Another sharp-tongued kid. It just so happens that the stubborn kid just now was only enough for me to warm up. Come on. Come up and let me see how capable you are." Su Chen smiled faintly. "Okay, I also want to see how much attainment you have in the art of formation." "Uncle Master, don't." Before Su Chen stepped out, Zhang Taiyan stopped him. "Master Zhang, don't worry, I'm sure." Su Chen smiled and did not explain. "Uncle Master, take it with you." Seeing that Su Chen was determined to fight, Zhang Taiyan took out a compass and handed it to Su Chen. He advised, "Uncle Master, the Battle of Formations is not only a competition of formation comprehension, but also a competition of Feng Shui magic weapons." Back then, Yan Maohua defeated the previous generation of Heavenly Master. It can be said that there was a bit of trickery. Su Chen was stunned. "Trickery?" His eyes suddenly looked at the compass held by Zhang Taiyan. "Is it because of the magic weapon?" Zhang Taiyan nodded. "Yes. It is because of this Feng Shui magic weapon." Back then, Yan Maohua climbed the mountain to ask for advice from the previous generation of Heavenly Master of our Zhou Wanqiu Mansion. As a Heavenly Master, it is naturally impossible for him to bully the younger generation. So, he chose not to use any Feng Shui magic weapons in the battle. Everyone suddenly realized. Only then did they understand the truth of the past. Zhang Taiyan continued to introduce. "It is precisely because there is no Feng Shui magic weapon to assist that Yan Maohua, who has Sinan, has gained some advantages with the magic weapon Sinan. He also took advantage of this and was lucky enough to get the reputation of defeating the previous generation of Heavenly Master. To be honest, our previous generation of Heavenly Master in Zhou Wanqiu Mansion is not weak. If he uses Feng Shui magic weapons, Yan Maohua will definitely lose." Over the years, Yan Maohua's attainments in formation have become more and more unfathomable. If you don't use magic weapons, you may suffer the same loss as the previous generation of Heavenly Master. Zhang Taiyan looked serious. "Okay." Su Chen nodded and took the compass after hearing this. He has never been an arrogant person, and he really doesn't have a suitable Feng Shui magic weapon on hand. Picking up the compass, Su Chen turned around and walked towards the field. He looked at Yan Maohua and said calmly, "Come on. Let me see how powerful the formation master who defeated the previous generation of Heavenly Masters is." Yang Maohua shouted angrily, "Boy, try my attack formation." This time, he actually set up the formation first. The Wrath of the Beast King. Old Yan shouted, and his finger grips were faster. strange formation patterns began to emerge. The confrontation between formation masters is different from that of ordinary warriors. Their victory or defeat can be decided in an instant, and it can also be delayed for a long time. If one side sets up the formation too quickly, causing the other side to have no time to set up defenses, then the opposing formation master can be killed in seconds. If the two sides have similar attainments in formation and the speed of setting up is almost the same, then the two sides are likely to form a tug-of-war. Obviously. Now, Old Yan just wants to set up the formation quickly, then use his own formation to quickly defeat Su Chen's confidence. But Old Yan didn't know that Su Chen's attainments in formation were also against the sky. In fact, it was much more outrageous than his martial arts cultivation. The reason why Su Chen didn't use the formation to fight the enemy was because he didn't have a suitable Feng Shui magic weapon in his hand. When martial arts practitioners fight against enemies, things change rapidly. It's impossible for them to set up formations and attack each other like formation masters. Rock, Su Chen whispered. He set up the formation faster than Old Yan. Moreover, the level of the formation was not low. It's not that Su Chen's formation cultivation is much higher than Old Yan's. It's because his formation is relatively simpler and more practical. Old Yan's formation took shape in an instant. Roar. A colorful tiger with wings on its ribs turned out to be a terrifying flying tiger. With this roar, everyone outside the field felt pain in their eardrums. It seemed that there was a real king of all beasts roaring, and all beasts were worshipping. The shadow of this flying tiger was several feet high. If ordinary people saw it, they might think it was a huge hot air balloon. In front of this huge flying tiger shadow, the human body seemed extremely small. Compared to the terrifying battle of Old Yan, Su Chen's battle formation seemed quite calm. The power of heaven and earth flowed quickly and slowly condensed into shape. In the end, it actually formed a wall. The fourth update. Good night everyone. Thank you for your support. Chapter 802. Battle of Formations. This city wall is made of stone. It seems to exude an extremely heavy aura, as if it can withstand thousands of troops. Everyone in the Liu family laughed. In their opinion, Su Chen has already lost this time. Even if your city wall is strong, what can it do? The people in Su Chen's camp couldn't help but show some worry on their faces. The Beast King on the opposite side is a flying tiger with wings. If they fight head on, perhaps the power of the two formations flying tiger and city wall will disappear at the same time. However, Yan Maohe will definitely not do this. After all, as long as he controls the flying tiger and flies to a certain height, Su Chen's city wall will be useless. That terrifying attack will fall directly on Su Chen. That is a level 5 formation, and the attack power is comparable to that of mid-stage God Realm powerhouse. Everyone couldn't help but sweat for Su Chen. Sure enough, as expected, the flying tiger flew into the sky. The terrifying hurricane made the lonely city wall look so thin. The city wall is as solid as a rock. But what should the people under the city wall do? Go. Old Yan shouted angrily. He held the Sinan in one hand and made a hand gesture with the other. Suddenly, the flying tiger was about to cross the city wall and pounce towards Su Chen's position. The terrifying momentum was like a mountain pressing down on one's head. This time, if Su Chen was pounced by the flying tiger, even if he had a physical body in the heavenly realm, he would probably be seriously injured. At this moment, Su Chen's hand gestures changed. Indestructible, growing. Suddenly, the city wall made of bricks and stones emitted bursts of faint light. Then, a shocking scene appeared. As the flying tiger soared higher, Su Chen's city wall was actually expanding upwards. It looked like the city wall could grow by itself. How is this possible? Old Yan's eyes widened. Even though he had an extraordinary attainment in formation, he had never seen such an exaggerated situation. This city wall can actually grow? The Liu family's strong men opened their mouths wide, and some even almost bit their tongues. Hiss. Zhang Tian took a breath of cold air. Just at that moment, he was stroking his beard and watching, and he actually pulled off a handful of white beard. Brother is awesome. Cheng Xianxin shouted at the top of his lungs, and even broke his voice. As a member of the Cheng family, even he didn't understand how Su Chen did it. As for the others on Su Chen's side, they could only stare in amazement. Although they didn't understand the formation, they also knew that dead things couldn't grow. What kind of heaven-defying formation is this? It can actually grow? Compared to the people outside the field, Yan Maohe almost got his nose crooked with anger. With his decades of experience, he has never seen such a formation. This is too shameless. Your formation, which manifested as a city wall, can actually grow. Isn't this shameless? This is totally illogical. Sure enough, Fei Xian, who was directly repelled in his first breakthrough. Old Yan, please break the formation. Looking at Yan Maohe, whose face was turning green and red, Su Chen smiled and raised a faint arc. Yan Maohe's old face twitched. He thought that Su Chen was just an ordinary young genius. As a result, he couldn't understand Su Chen's way. After years of studying the formation, Yan Maohe's attainments in the formation are not low. But even he couldn't see how Su Chen did it. As long as the flying tiger flies up, the city wall will extend upward, as if it is endless. And when the flying tiger lands, the city wall will slowly descend, still blocking the flying tiger. If the flying tiger has intelligence, it will definitely be suffocated to death. Roar. The tiger roared. Old Yan kept changing the spells in his hand. However, no matter how he changed, it was still like a rat pulling a turtle. There was no way to bite it. Su Chen's wall was too abnormal. It was so abnormal that even a cultivator like Yan Maohe, who had been concentrating on the formation for many years, didn't know where to start. Let's fight. A hint of ferocity flashed in Yan Maohe's eyes. Since there is no way to take shortcuts, then we can only break it with force. Although breaking the array with force is a stupid method, it is not without merit. As long as the array can be broken, everything is worth it. Boy, you force me to do this. Old Yan's voice was cold. Then, his spells changed repeatedly, and the flying tiger condensed by the array. The aura soared. Seeing this scene, Su Chen couldn't help but be in a state of shock, and waited for it. Judging from Old Yan's posture, he might have some tricks. Explode. Old Yan roared. At this moment, the spells in his hand changed faster. Buzz buzz buzz. The spoon on the Sinan was also spinning rapidly. At this moment, the flying tiger suddenly expanded, and its momentum reached its peak. That terrifying aura had actually surpassed the middle stage of the divine realm. Such a terrifying blow, if it were to be completely detonated. Not to mention Su Chen, who was in the innate realm, many of the divine realm present would probably be seriously injured. After all, this is a blow comparable to that of a late stage god realm. In the world of one step at a time, everyone below the mid-stage god realm is crushed. The formation explodes. Do you want to break it with the formation? Su Chen's pupils shrank slightly, his eyes were cold, and the spells in his hands were also changing. If he was completely unprepared, he would not be able to resist the self-explosion of the flying tiger formation. He might even be seriously injured. But the two were competing in formations, and Su Chen had been paying attention to the changes in the other party's formations. How could he be unprepared? Su Chen responded immediately. Draw a circle on the ground. He shouted softly. Suddenly, the city wall, that kept extending, changed again. The city wall no longer grew upwards, but quickly formed a circle, encircling the flying tiger. Those who knew a little about formations outside the field were silent. Su Chen's formation was really unexpected. A city wall can actually become a cage. However, this city wall looks solid, but can it really withstand the self-explosion of Old Yan's formation? You know, the flying tiger formation that Old Yan arranged is already a level 5 formation. A full strength attack from a level 5 formation is equivalent to a mid-level god realm powerhouse. If a level 5 formation self-destructs, its terrifying power can surpass the mid-level god realm powerhouse. It can even be comparable to a terrifying attack from a late-level god realm powerhouse. While everyone outside the arena was worried, Su Chen remained calm and changed his spell. First update. Chapter 803, 3 Burial Formation. In fact, Su Chen was not sure if he could block it completely. But the two of them had already been forced to this point in their battle. If he released the formation, the impact of the flying tiger's self-explosion would only be greater. If a few of the Liu family members were killed or injured, Su Chen would be happy to see it happen. The problem was that many people on his side could not resist it. Su Chen's wall quickly turned into a cage, trapping the flying tiger. The spell in his hand had not stopped yet. Su Chen must do his best to reduce the power of the flying tiger to the minimum. If it can be completely annihilated, that would naturally be the best. Thinking of this, Su Chen's hand seals changed again. Bury the sky, bury the earth, bury all living beings. Su Chen whispered in his heart. The hand seals and spells changed faster. For a while, even the compass in his hand seemed to be a little behind. 3 burial formation. This is a strange formation that Su Chen learned from his grandfather. Under normal circumstances, the chance of using this formation is very small. The 3 burial formation is a bit similar to the formless ceiling heaven formation. However, this 3 burial formation is not just to conceal the secrets of the sky. And this 3 burials formation is also a level 5 formation. Although it cannot deceive heaven and earth, it can still play a role in isolating some of the aura. As for the real function of the 3 burials formation, it is naturally the word burial. This is the real power of this formation. Bury the sky, bury the earth, and bury all living things. Facing the self-explosion of the flying tiger formation, Su Chen was not sure he could resist it. Then, burying that terrifying power is the best way. Just like when a child is young, he will choose to bury it in the soil when he encounters insects that he is afraid of. If he is still afraid, it is just because he is not buried deep enough. Of course, Su Chen's 3 burials formation cannot be buried in the soil. He used his own formation to bury the terrifying power of Yan Maohua's formation self-explosion. Collapse. The bricks and stones of the originally encircled cage began to fall off, completely submerging Yan Maohua's flying tiger. The power of the flying tiger's self-explosion was also gradually suppressed. Yang Maohua changed his hand gestures frantically. The flying tiger in Su Chen's cage also kept roaring, trying to escape. In the end, it could not escape. Yang Maohua's face became more and more gloomy. He set up the flying tiger formation, but it was blocked by Su Chen with a city wall. In order to win, he did not hesitate to self-destruct the formation to break through the ever-extending city wall. As a result, the formation's self-destruction was suppressed by Su Chen in this peculiar way. Why do I feel that old Yan's formation level is a bit watery? A strong man from the Liu family couldn't help but mutter in a low voice. Do you think that old Yan has a heart of love for talent and wants to take this kid into the door? A guest of the Liu family had a brainwave. At this time, Cheng Xianzhen was disdainful and curled his lips. You guys just brag. How could old Yan be the opponent of my brother? My brother is a real number 1 in formation. Look, my brother can easily create a formation that is higher than old Yan's level and suppresses him to death. Cheng Xianzhen looked proud. However, Zhang Tai'an whispered, Master Chengqi, you are wrong. Master's formation skills are not low, but to be honest, he is not stronger than Yan Maohua. Master's formation is not more advanced than Yan Maohua's. Cheng Xianzhen glanced at Zhang Tai'an. Old Zhang, this is where you are wrong. Why are you boosting others' ambitions and destroying your own prestige? Isn't the current situation very obvious? Don't you see? This old man Yan is no match for my brother. If my brother's formation skills were not higher than his, how could he suppress him so badly? Zhang Tai'an smiled. This is the extraordinary thing about Master's uncle. At this point, a trace of respect emerged in Zhang Tai'an's eyes. Old Zhang, don't play dumb. Cheng Xianzhen said bluntly. Zhang Tai'an explained. In fact, the wall formation of the Master uncle is not strong. At least, it is not as high as you think. Cheng Xianzhen immediately retorted, bullshit. If it is not strong, how can it automatically become higher to defend against the attack of Old Man Yan? Ordinary level 5 formations can't do this at all. Brother's formation must have surpassed level 5. Zhang Tai'an shook his head and smiled bitterly. In fact, it has not surpassed level 5. Hearing this, Cheng Xianzhen felt like his idol was insulted. Come on. Then tell me, what is the principle of the wall formation of the Master Brother? Cheng Xianzhen asked disatisfiedly. Zhang Tai'an did not answer and asked, Master Chengqi, when we set up the formation to condense objects, is it easier to condense dead objects or living objects? Cheng Xianzhen rolled his eyes. Nonsense. Of course it is easier to condense dead objects. The mental energy consumed by living objects is beyond the imagination of ordinary people. That's right. Zhang Taiyan smiled and nodded. He stroked his beard and continued, in fact, the city wall arranged by the master uncle is a dead object. How is that possible? Can't the city wall of Big Brother grow? How can you say it is a dead object? Cheng Xianxin subconsciously refuted. Zhang Taiyan smiled. The city wall is a dead object, but every brick and stone on it is also a dead object. But if you keep moving every brick and stone. Cheng Xianxin's eyes suddenly lit up. I understand. He suddenly realized, Big Brother is using mental power to control every brick and stone. Although every brick and stone is a dead object, it is a dead object that can change its state constantly, and it is not at all suppressed by living things. In this way, less mental power can be used to achieve greater effects. Hiss. Cheng Xianxin became more and more excited as he spoke. He seemed to see more directions of the formation changes. Have you reacted? Zhang Taiyan looked at Cheng Xianxin and smiled. He continued, I also suddenly understood it when I saw the master uncle arrange the 3 burial formation. This. Cheng Xianxin stuttered a little. After a long while, he finally blurted out, brother, you are awesome. The 2 array experts spoke very clearly. Zhang Longhu and Meng Diqiu were confused. They didn't understand a word. They were also in the god realm, and they could also feel the momentum of the array. But they only knew a little about the array. In their opinion, Mr. Su could only resist with a city wall. Perhaps, he was no match for Yan Maohe. But now, they finally felt relieved. Second update. Chapter 804, Offense and Defense. Zhang Taiyan and Cheng Xianxin did not deliberately conceal their conversation. The Liu family's strong men naturally heard everything. Some of them even began to send voice messages to old Yan to remind him. However, it was too late. Su Chen's 3 burial formation buried the sky, buried the earth, and buried all living beings. Even the flying tiger condensed by Yan Maohe was just one of the living beings. The self-destruction of the flying tiger formation had actually been brewing for a long time. If there was no temporary suppression of drawing a line to make a prison, the 3 burial formation might not be able to withstand it. And now, Yang Maohe's formation self-destruction is no longer a concern. Even under the cover of the 3 burial formation, Yan Maohe's connection with the formation was disconnected. Faintly, Yan Maohe had already lost control of the formation. When the formation was completely separated, Su Chen could easily disintegrate the other formation. Damn it. Old Yan's face was at hen. He thought that he could use the self-destruction of the flying tiger formation to bring some threats to Su Chen. As a result, under the obstruction of Su Chen's formation, he was even disconnected from his own formation. Explode for me. Old Yan roared in his heart. He urged his mental power and poured it out crazily. He had to connect with the flying tiger formation to make it explode. After a long time, old Yan's eyes lit up. He felt his connection with the flying tiger formation again. The flying tiger formation finally reached the edge of explosion. Yang Maohe's face was overjoyed. He seemed to hear the horrible explosion and seemed to see the horrible self-explosion power that blew Su Chen all over his body. However, the next moment, Yang Maohe's expression froze. Bang! With a loud bang, the flying tiger formation exploded. But this power was nothing compared to what Yan Maohe imagined. It was like a firecracker buried in the soil and detonated. Although it still exploded, the sound was dull and the power was even more pitiful. It was like a fart. Yang Maohe was completely dumbfounded. Everyone outside the venue was stunned. They were all prepared to retreat and dodge to avoid being seriously injured. In the end, this final result almost made them sprain their waists. That's it. The same word appeared in everyone's mind. The moment the formation explosion ended, Su Chen's 3 burial formation also disintegrated. The violent power retreated to all directions. Su Chen floated back with the invisible power fluctuations. He had no injuries on his body and even had a faint smile on his face. This calm look made the Liu family's strong men look extremely ugly. They didn't expect that Su Chen's attainments in the art of formation were so terrifying. However, they didn't know that Su Chen was secretly glad in his heart at this time. Yang Maohe is a master of formations. How could his formation self-explosion be weak? And the reason why Su Chen was safe and sound under the formation self-explosion was naturally due to the three burial formation. But more importantly, it was the immortal vitality and yin and yang spirit in Su Chen's body. On the surface, Su Chen was unharmed. But in fact, only he himself knew. At the moment when the flying tiger formation exploded, his body and mind were greatly impacted. At this moment, the immortal vitality and the yin yang spirit god were helping Su Chen to heal and recover frantically. There were more than 10 Liu family masters who were as fierce as wolves and tigers on the opposite side, and Su Chen could not show any weakness. Haha. So this is the formation master who defeated the previous generation of Xianqi. I'm glad to see your teachings. Su Chen raised his eyebrows and looked at Yan Maohua with a smile. Silence. Both the enemy and us were silent. Su Chen's words were too embarrassing. Yan Maohua became famous for his formation. Later, he became famous for defeating the previous generation of Xianqi by relying on the formation. Although he relied on Feng Shui magic weapons to defeat the previous generation of Xianqi Mountain Zhou Wanqiu and Xianqi, which was somewhat unfair. But his attainments in the formation were not weak at all. Even if an ordinary formation master was given a higher level of Feng Shui magic weapons, he would not be able to defeat the previous generation of Xianqi Mountain Xianqi. Being teased by Su Chen like this, Yan Maohua's face was very ugly. Old Yan, how about taking a break? Liu Shaowan's voice sounded. His face was calm, as if he was not angry about old Yan's defeat. Young Master Liu, I want to try again. Yan Maohua shook his head. He turned his eyes to Su Chen and said, young man, I don't accept it. This time you attack and I defend. Really? Su Chen raised his eyebrows lightly. His eyes suddenly became cold and even carried a hint of threat. Old Yan, I'm better at attacking than defending. Yan Maohua smiled coldly. That's perfect. As he spoke, he picked up the Sinan and pinched the formula again. The sea and the sky are one color. Come. Swish. A defensive formation was formed in an instant. The speed of the formation shocked the surrounding strongmen. Huolala. The power of heaven and earth surged and condensed into a huge ocean. The ocean was huge, as if it was connected to the traces of the sky, spreading out in all directions. Yang Maohua was in the center of the ocean and looked at Su Chen coldly. His ocean is somewhat similar to Su Chen's city wall. Su Chen's city wall is of earth attribute. On Kingsang Mountain, Su Chen can borrow power to build the rock bricks he needs. However, Yan Maohua's sea and sky formation is of water attribute. There is a large reservoir at the foot of Kingsang Mountain. He can also borrow some water attribute power. With this endless power, it is as difficult as climbing to the sky to break the formation. As long as he does not use this ocean formation, any powerful attack may not be able to hurt him. Isn't this a test for the main attacking formation master? Huh. Su Chen frowned. It is completely impossible to bypass the ocean formation and attack Yan Maohua. This round, old Yan will definitely win. The strong man who is familiar with the formation whispered among the Liu family. There was a hint of light teasing in their eyes when they looked at Su Chen. There is one more chapter, which will be released 10 minutes later. Chapter 805 Brother, be careful. Su Chen frowned slightly. It was not because of the attitude of the Liu family's strongman. But this formation is indeed not easy to break. The sea and the sky are one color. The area covered by the water is too large. Even if it is just a formation, it is not a real reality. But this illusion still gives people a very shocking feeling. As a formation master, Su Chen can certainly see the secret of this formation. But other strong men do not have such eyesight, and they only feel that the sea is extremely vast. There are only two ways to break Yan Leo's formation. Either cut off Yan Leo's connection with the reservoir at the foot of the mountain, so that he cannot borrow water attribute power. Or, remove the power borrowed by Yan Leo, and make this sea a bottomless pit. It's not that Su Chen can't cut off the connection between the formation master and Feng Shui. It's just that it doesn't meet the conditions now. Therefore, only by making Yan Leo's sea formation a bottomless pit may be the way to break the situation now. Thinking of this, Su Chen immediately had a plan. A rare natural phenomenon emerged in his mind. Dragon sucking water. This is a very rare and magnificent natural phenomenon. Ordinary people may not see it once in their lifetime. At this time, Su Chen wanted to rely on the formation to create the dragon sucking water effect, so as to crack the defense formation of Old Yan. However, there is no complete formation diagram for formations like this. Su Chen can only rely on his own deduction to get a brand new formation diagram. Wind, hurricane, hurricane. Su Chen kept calculating and simulating in his mind. What element are needed to achieve the dragon sucking water effect? How can the best effect be achieved? The so-called dragon sucking water, to put it bluntly, is actually just a natural phenomenon caused by a tornado on the horizontal plane. However, this can only be achieved under certain prerequisites. Su Chen held the compass in one hand and secretly pinched the formula with the other hand. Suddenly, a very small breeze appeared beside him. This breeze was not noticeable. Even outsiders could not detect the appearance of this small breeze at all, thinking that Su Chen was still helpless. But Su Chen knew very well in his heart that this was just the beginning. As time went on, that breeze underwent earth-shaking changes. Sure enough, under the blessing of Su Chen's spell, the small breeze began to grow and slowly became a larger storm. However, even such a storm was still useless to Yan Maohua's sea. It was even difficult to make the sea wave. Seeing Su Chen changing his spells again and again, Old Yan sneered in his heart. His formation embraces all rivers and seas. As long as there is water, he is invincible. He does not need to worry about his safety in the middle of the sea. However, after a few breaths, Old Yan's face changed, and the sneer gradually stiffened. He looked at Su Chen, and became slightly solemn again. He had already felt the horror of that gust of wind. Although it could not completely flatten his sea, if it caused waves, he would not be in a good situation. The sea is his formation. If the sea caused waves, it means that his formation is unstable, and it is not qualified as a defensive formation. Just when Yan Maohua thought that Su Chen would use a hurricane to blow across the sea, Su Chen did not do so, but continued to pinch the spell and mobilize the compass. Boy, what conspiracy are you playing? Old Yan's face was solemn, and he had a bad feeling in his heart. Conspiracy? Su Chen smiled contemptuously. He asked, Senior, didn't you ask me to attack? Why? You didn't let me prepare? Old Yan was choked. He did say such words before, but he thought his formation defense was invincible. And now, looking at the hurricane formation beside Su Chen, Old Yan felt a little scared. If it blows across the sea and falls on him, don't worry, I won't let you wait too long. As soon as the voice fell, Su Chen suddenly pinched the formula again. Dragon sucks water, appear. Suddenly, a series of gusts of wind spun non-stop in an instant. A huge tornado was completely formed. Go. Su Chen urged the compass. Suddenly, the violent tornado suddenly rushed towards the middle of Yan Maohua's sea formation. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The gust of wind swept. The majestic water attribute power was actually sucked away by the tornado, and the wind force became even stronger. This is. Yan Maohua's eyes widened. It was unknown whether he was frightened by the horrific scene or angry. As for the people outside the venue, they were even more stunned. As the water spout continued, Old Yan could no longer remain calm. Although, he kept changing his hand gestures and urging Sinan. He wanted to use the water power to strengthen the formation and suppress Su Chen's tornado. However, it was too late. Su Chen's water spouts continued to draw the firewood from the bottom of the cauldron, making his resistance fail. Yan Maohua's face was livid. If this goes on, when the sea water is clear, he may have to face the terrifying water spout. What will happen to him then? If the kid in front of him is kind, he can still save some face. If the other party is ruthless, then his old face today may be completely gone. Dragon sucks water, suck. Su Chen shouted softly, and the power of the water spout became stronger. In an instant, in the calm sea, there was a deep sea pit. The sea level dropped madly. After all, this is just a formation, not a real sea. If it is a real sea, let alone the current Su Chen, even if he reaches the late stage of the god realm, it is impossible to do it. Unknowingly, Yan Leo's sea formation has revealed reefs. However, these reefs are very illusory, and even many places appear extremely rough. Just like the game map has not been fully developed, it is easy to distinguish the real from the fake. I surrender. Just when Su Chen thought that Yan Maohua would continue to resist, Yan Leo's trembling voice came out. Yang Maohua is really helpless now. If he continues to stalemate, he can't hold on for a few minutes. Instead of being tortured and humiliated by Su Chen, it is better to take the opportunity to admit defeat early. At least, this way he won't get hurt. Even if it is embarrassing, it is just a loss in the battle. Old Yan. The Liu family's strong men looked ugly. This is the formation master that the Liu family has invited with great difficulty, but he actually lost. Su Chen snorted coldly and put away the formation. Suddenly, the water spout disappeared. You're on your own. Su Chen looked at Yan Maohua deeply, then turned and went back. At this moment, Cheng Xianzhen's face suddenly changed. He stared at Su Chen and shouted, "Brother, be careful. The fourth update is here. The chaos is about to begin. Good night everyone. Thank you for your support." Chapter 806. The battle begins. Brother, be careful. Su Chen's face changed slightly when he heard Cheng Xianzhen shouting. He had realized what had happened. This Yan Maohua, who was obviously a master of formations, was such a despicable person. After being defeated and admitting defeat, he actually used such a despicable means to sneak attack. Everyone in Su Chen's camp had a livid face and was extremely angry. At this time, Cheng Xianzhen shouted while hastily setting up a formation to help Su Chen resist. However, although Cheng Xianzhen's formation cultivation was not weak, he acted hastily when the incident happened suddenly. In the blink of an eye, the formation was broken. Fortunately, Yan Maohua also acted hastily. Clang. The formation disappeared, and a crisp sound of metal and stone sounded. It was a flying knife. I saw that this flying knife was glowing with blue fluorescence. Su Chen's face instantly turned cold. This old guy not only secretly used hidden weapons to attack. Moreover, this flying knife was actually poisoned. Su Chen thought that Yan Maohua might not admit defeat easily. But he did not expect that he would be so shameless. A real man should admit victory or defeat. What's more, he had defeated the previous generation of Xianqi and was a famous senior master. At this moment, he didn't care about his face at all. This scene made the strong men in the Liu family camp stunned. Of course, they felt more pity. On the opposite side, Su Chen's camp. Old thief. How dare you harm my eldest brother? You are looking for death. Cheng Xianzhen attacked angrily. He held the extremely cold glass cover with one hand and pinched the seal with the other. The next second, a formation took shape and killed Yan Maohua. The formation condensed into a real dragon. Compared with the previous fight, it was only slightly weaker. The terrifying dragon power was overwhelming. The real dragon seemed to want to pour all its anger on Yan Maohua. Old dog, don't hurt my uncle. Zhang Taiyan also roared. Then, a formation instantly transformed into a ferocious tiger. Zhang Taiyan, this tiger, has both spirit and form. With 1 pounce, 1 leap, 1 tear, and 1 bite, it was like the real king of beasts descending. In an instant, Yan Maohua fell into an absolute crisis. There was a dragon in front and behind, and a tiger behind. This was a real dragon-tiger pincer attack. In such a situation, let alone Yan Maohua, a mere formation master, even a mid-stage god realm strongman who was good at defense could be severely injured. Cheng Xianzhen and Zhang Taiyan's formation level was not low, and the formation they ranged was no less than a level 5 formation. Cheng Xianzhen had an extremely cold glass cover, which could arrange a formation in an instant. The real dragon it transformed into was absolutely terrifying. Although Zhang Taiyan gave the compass to Su Chen, he was not without other magic weapons. After all, he was the Xianqi of Xianqi Mountain, with a rich foundation. To level 5 attack formations, attacking at the same time, were not weaker than the full force attack of 2 mid-stage god realm strongmen. Stop. The Liu family strongman shouted. How could they watch Yan Maohua being killed by 2 people at the same time? Everyone in the Liu family also attacked together. They would never allow Yan Maohua to fall here. Suddenly, the originally well-organized round of battles was completely messed up because of Yan Maohua's sudden attack. A chaotic battle was about to begin. The Liu family's strong men rushed forward. Although they attacked strongly, they did not dare to kill Zhang Taiyan and Cheng Xianzhen. The identities of these two people are too sensitive. Ordinary Liu family guests dare not provoke them at all. Even the direct descendants of the Liu family have to think twice. Cheng Xianxin is the 7th master of the Cheng family. The Cheng family is the first family of Feng Shui in Shangjing, and Cheng Xianxin's status needs no further explanation. And Zhang Tai'an is the Xianqi of Zhou Wanqiu mansion in Xianqi Mountain. This is even more supreme. It is equivalent to the current leader of Taoism. A Cheng family cannot be easily provoked, and a Taoist leader cannot be provoked. The Liu family's strong men took action, and were immediately restrained. Therefore, they could only pour all their resentment on Su Chen, Zhang Longhu and others. Only they were rootless duckweed, and could be killed at will. Suddenly, several strong men surrounded and killed them. Su Chen's face was livid. This time, he thought that these Liu family guests were only invited by the Liu family. If they lost the battle, they would naturally give up and leave. But he didn't expect that Yan Maohua would be so shameless. In this case, Su Chen let him know that he was not easy to bully. Although Su Chen's background did not look as powerful as Zhang Tai'an and Cheng Xianxin, but his own strength was not weak at all. Looking for death, Su Chen snorted coldly and directly sucked up the flying knife on the ground with a faint light. Then he swung his hand and shot it directly at Yan Maohua. People have no intention of harming tigers, but tigers have the intention of hurting people. Su Chen was ready to cooperate with Zhang Tai'an and Cheng Xianxin to completely solve Yan Maohua before the battle started. Immediately, he threw out the flying knife with the power of the divine realm. In an instant, there was a faint sound of sonic boom in the air. Whoosh! The flying knife broke through the air, fast and urgent. The dragons and tigers formed by the formations on both sides also attacked Yan Maohua together. For a moment, Yan Maohua's face changed drastically. "Old Yan, get out of the way." A loud shout. It was the mid-stage Shinran realm strongman who had fought against Su Chen before, who suddenly appeared. The appearance of this physical strongman directly resolved Yan Maohua's crisis. I saw that his skin was dark gold, his muscles were knotted into a ball, and he exuded a terrifying aura. He stood in front of Yan Maohua and took Su Chen's fast and urgent flying knife. Dang. Snap. A crisp sound. This flying knife of ordinary quality was completely shattered. First update. Chapter 807 Direct Kill Core. Su Chen's physical strength is not weak, but the physical defense of this mid-stage Shinran realm strongman is even more terrifying. And this flying knife, after all, belongs to Yan Maohua, and its quality can only be said to be average. In the battle between the two masters of the physical realm of God, it can't hold up at all. After the middle-aged man shattered the flying knife, he once again faced Cheng Xianxin's dragon-shaped formation and Zhang Tai'an's tiger formation. Ha! He shouted loudly. A wild momentum burst out, and his muscles kept trembling. The next second, he punched Cheng Xianxin's dragon-shaped formation, and then punched Zhang Tai'an's tiger. A mid-stage Shinran realm strongman, the physical defense has reached the strength of the mid-stage god realm, and can withstand the mid-stage god realm attack. And Cheng Xianxin's dragon and Zhang Tai'an's tiger, both formations are only level 5. The intensity of their attacks can only reach the mid-stage god realm. Facing the mid-stage god realm physical strongman who burst out with all his strength, there is no advantage at all. Boom. Boom. To loud noises, the formation of Zhang Tai'an and Cheng Xianxin was shattered. The middle-aged warrior was also shocked back a few steps, his face flushed. Obviously, he was also shocked. However, Yang Maohua was lucky enough to escape, because of his appearance. Asshole, you are looking for death. Cheng Xianxin was furious. Yang Maohua's sneak attack made him extremely angry. Now, this guy dared to save him. Although Zhang Tai'an didn't say anything, but his behavior has already explained his anger at this time. Swish. A sharp sword suddenly appeared in Zhang Tai'an's hand. The cold light flashed, and it was breathtaking. On the hilt, a pair of dragons and tigers fought. Be careful. That's the dragon and tiger sword, the Liu family warriors exclaimed. They have also heard about how terrifying the dragon and tiger sword of Xianqi Mountain is. Demons and demons will be cut. Zhang Tai'an shouted softly. Then, he chopped down with a sword. His target was naturally the physical warrior in the middle stage of the heavenly man realm. Get out of the way. A Liu family warrior reminded loudly. They knew how strong Qianqi Mountain was, and this attack would definitely not be weak. Boom, crack. As the sword fell, lightning and thunder flashed in the sky, as if a sane Qianqi was holding a sword to subdue demons and exorcise monsters. Hiss. Everyone couldn't help but take a breath of cold air, secretly sighing that Qianqi Mountain was indeed terrifying enough. This move of subduing demons and exorcising demons was extraordinary and carried infinite power of thunder. What shocked Su Chen even more was the wealth of Qianqi Mountain. The sword in front of him seemed to be the third magic weapon Zhang Tai'an took out. Su Chen put away his shock. At this time, everyone was attracted by Zhang Tai'an's attack. Su Chen was not a person who didn't know how to seize the opportunity. His Yang Shen moved, and a 9 heavens thunder curse was cast to increase the power of Zhang Tai'an's sword moves. After a few rounds of fighting just now, he had secretly figured out the bottom of the Liu family camp. This middle-aged strong man has the strongest defense. If he is knocked down now, other Liu family strongmen will be much easier to deal with. At this time, the Liu family's strong men also came back to their senses and attacked Zhang Longhu and Meng Diqiu at the same time. As the leader of the Wu League, Zhang Longhu naturally showed no weakness. He roared and stopped 3 Liu family strong men. Zhang Longhu fought 1 against 3, and he was evenly matched with the opponent. As for Meng Diqiu, he didn't want to conflict with the Liu family, but he was still stopped by 2 Liu family gods. In desperation, he could only dodge desperately. In an instant, the chaos started completely. Although Zhang Longhu and Meng Diqiu were also gods, they had too many opponents. Soon, the two were completely at a disadvantage. More than a dozen gods, although not all of them took action. But this terrifying lineup is enough to make most people despair. What's more, Meng Diqiu was a little cunning, just dodging and escaping. Suddenly, more strong men came to Zhang Longhu. For a while, Zhang Longhu was in more danger. On Su Chen's side, Su Chen, Zhang Tai'an and Cheng Xianxin were now being held back by the middle-aged man and Yan Maohe. It was obvious that the two of them wanted to hold back the 3 people and let others kill Zhang Longhu and Meng Diqiu. Su Chen was anxious. Brother, Taoist Zhang, I will stop this bastard. You go and help. At this time, Cheng Xianxin spoke anxiously. Zhao, be careful. Su Chen's face was slightly solemn, but he had to let Cheng Xianxin take the risk and deal with this middle-aged strong man alone. It was not that Su Chen didn't care about Cheng Xianxin's life or death, but he was sure that the Liu family would not dare to really kill him. As the first family of Fengshu formation in Shangjing, the Cheng family is not so easy to bully. Even the Liu family had to consider the consequences of killing Cheng Xianxin. Even Liu Shaoan might not be able to bear that responsibility. As for the other Liu family strongmen, if they really dared to attack Cheng Xianxin, I'm afraid that, even if they escaped to the ends of the earth, they would still die. Fengshu Cheng family, it's better not to provoke. If you dare to attack them, it will be a fight to the death and the end of the family. Now it is Cheng Xianxin who took the initiative, and the Liu family is right. As long as the Liu family doesn't kill them, the Cheng family won't be able to do anything. Suddenly, Su Chen and Zhang Tai'an left the battlefield over there. Only Cheng Xianxin was left to deal with the pincer attack from Yan Maohe and the mid-level Shinran Realm Masters. Uncle Master, let's act separately, Zhang Tai'an said. Then, he took the initiative to kill several Liu family masters of the Divine Realm. Master Zhang, save yourself first. Su Chen clasped his fists. He didn't need to worry about Zhang Tai'an's safety either. As Zhang Tai'an left, 3 more Liu family masters of the Divine Realm were taken away. At this time, there were not many Liu family masters who had not yet taken action. This time, the Liu family gathered more than 10 masters of the Divine Realm. Zhang Tai'an and Cheng Xianxin had already taken away 5 masters. And Zhang Longhu also grabbed 3. Although Meng Diqiu didn't want to fight, he also entangled 2. The remaining 4 Liu family masters of the Divine Realm did not dare to leave Liu Shaoan. In such a battle, Liu Shaoan, an ordinary person with no cultivation, was very dangerous. Perhaps if he is not careful, he may die here. As the think tank of the Liu family, Liu Shaoan's role is self-evident. Even if a few powerful gods fall, he cannot be harmed. Kill. Su Chen roared, and a golden light flashed under his feet. He went straight to kill Liu Shaoan. In this battle, Liu Shaoan is the core of the Liu family. As long as he is killed, everything will be much simpler. Second update. There will be 2 updates today. Sorry for everyone. Good night everyone. At least 3 updates tomorrow. Chapter 808 Strange Magical Weapon. Su Chen ran straight to Liu Shaoan. He shouted angrily. Then, the 9-fold amplification of the 9 extremes was fully activated, hoping to kill with one blow. Young Master Liu, be careful. A strong man in the divine realm roared beside Liu Shaoan. He stepped forward and punched out fiercely, trying to stop Su Chen. Bang! The 2 fists collided with each other. Su Chen staggered slightly, and a trace of doubt flashed in his eyes. This Liu family is indeed worthy of being a family in Shangjing. The strong man who stopped Su Chen was a thin old man. It looked like he would fall down if the wind blew. But unexpectedly, he was also a strong man in the heavenly realm. However, although this thin old man was not weak, he was only in the early stage of the heavenly realm. Speaking of it, he was in the same realm of physical training as Su Chen. Su Chen's punch landed, and even he staggered slightly. It is conceivable what the fate of the old man who acted hastily would be. Su Chen looked up. After one punch, the skinny old man deng retreated 4 or 5 steps. Swish. On the ground, he plowed 2 long furrows. Come again. Divine Wolfist. Su Chen was in a dominant position, and did not spare anyone. This opportunity was very rare. Open it for me. The skinny old man also roared. In an instant, his blood was boiling. His golden body seemed to be stronger. At the same time, another angry shout came. Su Chen, die. The person who came was not someone else, but Liu Yuanwu, the strong man of the Liu family who had once embarrassed the Cheng family. Liu Yuanwu greeted Liu Shaoan and rushed towards Su Chen. Compared with Su Chen, the skinny old man had no advantage. If he was left alone, he would most likely be killed. Therefore, Liu Yuanwu took the initiative to rescue him. However, facing Liu Yuanwu's attack, Su Chen did not give in at all. Unbeatable golden body, 9 extreme strength. He roared wildly, and his whole body defense was fully pulled. Su Chen's offensive remained unchanged, and he still rushed towards the old man in the flesh body heaven realm. It is better to cut off 1 finger than to hurt his 10 fingers. This thin old man is of average strength. If there is a chance, he will completely lose his fighting power. On the other side, Su Chen could not do anything about Liu Yuanwu's sudden attack. He clenched his other hand into a fist and blasted out again with the 9 extremes power. Bang, bang. 2 collisions sounded in succession. The first sound was the collision between Liu Yuanwu's fist and Su Chen. This collision caused Su Chen's straightforward figure to deviate a little. The second sound was the confrontation between Su Chen and the thin old man. Both sides punched each other. Su Chen's figure shook slightly, but the thin old man was miserable. Su Chen's punch landed directly on his shoulder. Crack. A sound of bone fracture was heard. Puff. A mouthful of blood spurted out. The old man's figure was like a broken sack and flew out. The battle between the strong men in the god realm changes rapidly. The consequences of a pause in breathing are immeasurable. Because of Liu Yuanwu's sudden attack, Su Chen had to take a punch from the skinny old man. Several bones on his shoulder were broken. Eternal life key. Su Chen endured the pain and looked normal. The eternal life key was running rapidly. The broken bones on his shoulder were quickly repaired. This is Su Chen's advantage. Although the skinny old man also had a divine body, he was directly hit hard by Su Chen, bleeding all over, and his combat power was greatly reduced. On the side, Liu Yuanwu's face was ugly. He suddenly attacked, but Su Chen actually seriously injured the skinny old man, which made him hard to accept. Su Chen ignored it and continued to rush towards the skinny old man. Liu Yuanwu was furious, looking for death. He shouted and stomped his feet. Boom. The ground shook, and Liu Yuanwu's figure instantly rose up and rushed towards Su Chen like a tiger. Ghost wall. Su Chen shouted in his heart. He pinched his fingers and set up the formation. In an instant, a small formation was formed. This formation is called ghost wall, which is quite common. In fact, it is just an ordinary formation to confuse the soul and eyes, not very profound. Many Feng Shui masters who are new to the formation can almost set it up, and the power is relatively small. However, although the formation is weak, it is not useless. For the strong who are also masters of formations, this instant formation is like a chicken rib. But for those who don't understand formations, it may not be solved quickly. In the battle at this time, as long as he can delay Liu Yuanwu for a few seconds, Su Chen has the confidence to kill the thin old man. Liu Yuanwu's momentum in the air stopped instantly. He has been temporarily trapped by the ghost wall. At this time, break the delusion. A light shout sounded, but it came from Liu Shaoan's mouth. Then, he began to instruct Liu Yuanwu, listen to my instructions, 3 steps forward, and 2 steps right. Liu Yuanwu was overjoyed, and hurriedly stepped forward, looking for death. Su Chen's eyes turned cold. Although Liu Shaoan has no cultivation, he has many tricks. I don't know how much resources the Liu family has invested in him. Obviously, the reason why Liu Shaoan can see through Su Chen's ghost wall is not because of his cultivation, but because he has a powerful magic weapon in his hand. Facing such an opponent, Su Chen is also upset. He has money and can get so many magic weapons. Moreover, the most shocking thing is the peculiarity of the magic weapon in Liu Shaoan's hand. Although magic weapons are rare, they are not rare. Su Chen has a set of medical saint golden needles in his hand. However, generally speaking, magic weapons can only be used by people with cultivation. But Liu Shaoan is clearly just an ordinary person. First update. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 809 Dragon and Tiger Injury. Ordinary people use magic weapons. This situation is difficult to explain, but the fact happened right in front of him. With Su Chen's mental power, he can easily distinguish Liu Shaoan's situation. Although this guy is incomparable in wisdom and strategy, he has no cultivation, and is just an ordinary person. Bang! With a crisp sound, the sound of the formation breaking rang out. Su Chen, I will kill you. Liu Yuanwu walked out of the ghost wall. At this time, Liu Yuanwu was furious. This time, he suffered again at the hands of Su Chen. Facing the extremely angry Liu Yuanwu, Su Chen's face was calm. He snorted coldly and set up a ghost wall again to trap Liu Yuanwu. Liu Yuanwu is extraordinary, and it is almost impossible for Su Chen to defeat him in a short time. Therefore, Su Chen's goal has never been Liu Yuanwu. Instead, to seriously injure or kill other powerful gods and reduce the opponent's substantial number of people is the biggest goal. The best result is to kill Liu Shaoan directly. However, before Su Chen took action again, bad news came from the other side of the battlefield. Zhang Longhu was captured alive by his opponent. Compared with Su Chen, Zhang Taian and Cheng Xiansun, Zhang Longhu and Meng Diqiu are weak. Su Chen has various means. He is not only a strong man in the physical realm of heaven and man, but also a spiritual immortal master, and is good at formations. In the battlefield of the divine realm, where there are many strong men, even if Su Chen cannot win quickly, he can protect himself in a short time. Zhang Taian and Cheng Xiansun are not weak, and they have magic weapons in their hands. Besides, the two have deep backgrounds, and the strong men of the Liu family are quite afraid of them, so they are naturally restrained when they take action. However, Zhang Longhu and Meng Diqiu are different. Although the two of them have the cultivation of the divine realm, they have no expertise, and there is no backing behind them. Especially Zhang Longhu, who stopped 3 divine realms of the Liu family alone. Moreover, he is more straightforward. He does not dodge like Meng Diqiu, but directly confronts him. 2 fists cannot resist 6 hands. Zhang Longhu was injured by the strong men of the Liu family without paying attention. Su Chen, kneel down and surrender. Otherwise, I will kill Zhang Longhu. A Liu family warrior roared. Su Chen turned his head hurriedly. Zhang Longhu was covered in blood and his arms were tightly clamped by this man. The Liu family warrior was overjoyed. Seeing this scene, Su Chen's face changed. Zhang Longhu was very righteous and helped him several times. How could he sit back and watch? Mr. Su, don't worry about me, kill them. Zhang Longhu gritted his teeth. At this moment, he was enduring great pain. Su Chen, I'll count to 3, otherwise, don't blame me for being ruthless. The Liu family warrior narrowed his eyes and stared at Su Chen. Uncle Master, brother. On the other side of the battlefield, Zhang Tian and Cheng Xianxin exclaimed in unison. The two of them were also very entangled. It was not right to attack, and it was not right to stop. 1. 2. Su Chen's pupils shrank violently. Now, he was a little bit in a dilemma. Zhang Longhu couldn't help but save him. But he was also unwilling to surrender. Just as Su Chen was thinking rapidly. At this moment, Zhang Longhu gritted his teeth. Before Su Chen could make a decision, he struggled violently. Crack. Swish. Zhang Longhu struggled forward violently, and his arms were torn off by himself. Wow. Blood was flowing non-stop. The Liu family strongman was stunned. Zhang Longhu was such a strong man in the divine realm, but he actually gave up his arms, and did not let Su Chen be threatened by him. Seeing this scene, Su Chen's eyes turned red, and he was furious. Go to hell. Zhang Longhu's arms were broken at the shoulders, which made Su Chen's anger instantly like a burning gunpowder barrel. With a roar, Su Chen's feet flashed with golden light. The golden light was used. In an instant, Su Chen had flashed in front of the strong man in the divine realm, who caused Zhang Longhu to lose his arms. The divine fist came down with unparalleled power. At this moment, Su Chen's anger was ignited. This punch, with an indomitable momentum. The other Liu family masters around him subconsciously avoided it. Su Chen, who was in anger, made them no longer have the courage to resist. Die. Su Chen's teeth were almost broken, and he attacked mercilessly. This punch seemed to scare even the space and tremble slightly. Get out of the way. Many Liu family masters exclaimed. They have seen the horror of Su Chen's punch. It is definitely not something that this master in the early stage of the god realm can resist. However, their reminder was too late. Su Chen's murderous intention had already risen, and the power of this punch was too terrifying. The god realm master, whose stunned expression had not yet recovered, was hit in the face by Su Chen's punch. Bang. After one punch. What a big head. It was like a watermelon bursting. The other two god realm masters who attacked Zhang Longhu couldn't help but shudder. The two retreated quickly, their eyes full of fear. Too strong. Too terrifying. This punch completely crushed the hearts of several Liu family god realm masters. They felt that they were as small as ants, and did not dare to make a move. If they made a move, they would be met with Su Chen's fatal blow. Alliance Master Zhang Yu. Su Chen supported Zhang Longhu. He was bleeding, and his face was pale. Su Chen's face was full of guilt. He mobilized the longevity energy, and poured it into his body frantically. Mr. Su, I'm fine. I'm still alive. Zhang Longhu forced a smile. The severe pain made his mouth twitch. Alliance Master Zhang, don't worry, I will definitely heal you. Su Chen comforted him. His eyes were cold, and swept towards the other Liu family's god realm masters. Zhang Longhu was seriously injured, which was a blow to Su Chen's camp. Even though he killed a god realm master, the Liu family still had the advantage in numbers. Second update. Chapter 810. The situation worsens. Before, Meng Diqiu, who had fought side by side with Zhang Longhu, did not run away again. Zhang Longhu's serious injury made him feel sad. I will fight you. Meng Diqiu roared. He stopped dodging, and confronted his opponent head-on. For a while, facing two powerful gods, he fought with great momentum. This made Su Chen look at him with admiration. However, Meng Diqiu had been seriously injured. Even if Su Chen was rejuvenated, there was still a gap between him and his heyday. What's more, the opponent was still a strong man from the Liu family. As a powerful god, the god from Shangjing could easily crush the god in Nangzhou province. This was the gap in resources and skills. What's more, the opponent was outnumbered. After the two gods reacted, they easily suppressed Meng Diqiu. For a while, Meng Diqiu was also in danger. Seeing Meng Diqiu also in crisis, Su Chen was furious. Spirit God, come out, cut it. Su Chen roared in his heart. Suddenly, Su Chen's yin-yang spirit god figure instantly turned into a long sword. Then, it fiercely slashed at an opponent of Meng Diqiu. This long sword is extremely sharp. With amazing mental power fluctuations, it is like a streak across the sky, heading straight for the opponent. Wherever the long sword goes, it is invincible. After one slash, a scream. The god realm strongman fell to the ground with his head in his arms. He was bleeding from all 7 orifices, and fell to the ground silently, and his life or death was completely unknown. Asshole. Outside the field, Liu Shaowan's eyes were bloodshot. Su Chen's furious attack actually caused him to lose 2 god realm strongmen. Even if he had calculated unparalleled, he did not expect that Su Chen would be so terrifying after his full strength attack. Especially the spiritual sword, without a trace, was very scary. Don't worry about the others, kill Su Chen for me. Attack together and kill him. Liu Shaowan's eyes were filled with fear. After all, he is just an ordinary person. Even though he is the think tank of the Liu family, he has no cultivation. In front of a strong man like Su Chen, even if he has a special magic weapon, he does not feel safe at all. Only when Su Chen dies can he feel relieved. Following Liu Shaowan's order, the strong men immediately gave up their opponents and turned to attack Su Chen. For a time, Meng Diqiu's pressure was greatly reduced. He couldn't help but secretly rejoice in his heart. This time, he fought desperately, and it was not in vain. But Su Chen's pressure doubled. After all, he was only in the early stage of the god realm. Whether it was the physical body of the heaven realm or the spiritual immortal master, they were only in the early stage of the god realm, and could not fight 10 people alone. In an instant, Su Chen had fallen into an absolute disadvantage. If this continues, even if he does not die, he will probably be seriously injured in the battle. It's not that Su Chen is not strong. It's that the opponent is too difficult. The Liu family is worthy of being a family in Shangjing. As soon as they made a move, Su Chen was in crisis. Big brother, Uncle Master, Mr. Su. Everyone exclaimed in unison, and then they wanted to get rid of their opponents, to help Su Chen out. At this time, Liu Shaowan shouted angrily, "Stop them." Immediately, the opponents of several people fought hard, and frantically intercepted them. Liu Shaowan looked pleased. The Liu family had attacked Su Chen more than once or twice, but each time they returned without success. This time, Liu Shaowan personally took charge, just to take this opportunity, to kill Su Chen completely. As long as Su Chen was alive, the Liu family's goal could not be achieved. This Linup can be regarded as a full-scale attack for the Shangjing Liu family. If they cannot achieve their goal in one battle, it is absolutely unacceptable. Want to kill me? Su Chen sneered. Although he was afraid in his heart, his face did not show too much emotion. That's right. His martial arts realm is not high. In fact, compared with many Liu family masters, the early stage of the divine realm is not enough. But, so what? Can the Liu family masters really kill him if they focus their fire on him? Think too much. Golden light. This was Su Chen's answer. The next second, a golden light appeared under Su Chen's feet. At a terrifying speed, it exploded under his feet. Whoosh. In an instant, it helped Su Chen dodge the attacks of 2 terrifying vitality. Whoosh. The next second, it helped Su Chen dodge a fierce iron fist. For a moment, Su Chen was like a swimming fish, swimming and dodging in the siege of the Liu family's gods. Golden light is one of the 36 great divine powers. As long as Su Chen can still activate it, he can dodge the opponent's attack in a millimeter. Even if he can't dodge, Su Chen is not worried. Invincible golden body. Su Chen is still a physical body strongman in the heaven realm, and he has an invincible golden body and longevity vitality to protect his body. Even if he is injured occasionally, it will not cause much harm to him. He has made up his mind that, if the strong attack fails, then he will fight. He can always catch the opportunity and kill 1 or 2. Bang! A punch fell. Su Chen and a Liu family warrior collided with their fists. Swish. The next second, Su Chen's feet flashed with golden light, and he appeared next to another person again. His body movements were too flexible, like a fish in the water. No matter how the Liu family warriors surrounded and intercepted him, it had no effect on him. Not to mention the Liu family warriors, even Zhang Taiyan and others were stunned. They never thought that Su Chen's full strength attack would be so terrifying. When the combat power is not much different, fast speed is the biggest advantage. And now, Su Chen is completely invincible. However, in this way, Su Chen's consumption is also extremely terrifying. After all, his vitality realm is only the innate realm, and he has not achieved the vitality martial god. Just as Su Chen and his men and the Liu family warriors were fighting more and more fiercely, King Mui, who was hiding in the dark, wanted to take action several times, but was stopped by Li Changfeng. Captain Wei, why are you stopping me? King Mui was puzzled. Obviously, the situation was extremely unfavorable to Su Chen. Why didn't Li Changfeng let her help? The third update. The next update will be about 10 minutes later. Chapter 811 Enemies Meet. Keep watching. Li Changfeng did not explain too much. His eyes were slightly solemn. In fact, he also wanted to take action regardless of the consequences. But as the chief of the tiger catching guard of Dongzhou, he knew the importance of the matter. Now, the grudge between Su Chen and the Liu family is temporarily a personal grudge. If there is no suitable reason, it is best not to intervene. Unless it is a matter of life and death for Su Chen. The Liu family is from Shangjing. Even Li Changfeng, the chief of the tiger catching guard of Dongzhou province, is unwilling to provoke such a family easily. Of course, if Li Changfeng has a legitimate reason to take action, it is natural. But so far, things have not been as he expected. Li Changfeng thought that the Liu family was on high alert and other forces would take action. In that case, he could join the battle in the name of catching wanted criminals. Unexpectedly, the Liu family's strong men who took action this time were all innocent. This forced Li Changfeng, who was already eager to fight, to wait and see. And Zhang Jinqiu, as Fang Dingbang's wife, had the same idea. What can we do? The Liu family didn't give any evidence this time. And this is exactly what makes Liu Shaoan so terrifying. Once he strikes, it's like a thunderbolt. Moreover, he is very careful in selecting people, so that Li Changfeng and Zhang Jinqiu can't find an excuse to strike. In this way, although the Liu family's strength is weakened, the weakening of Su Chen is more obvious. Liu Shaoan makes plans before making any moves. Naturally, he knows Su Chen's foundation and the power he can use. With such a large consumption, I wonder how long you can hold on. Liu Shaoan stared at Su Chen's figure with a sneer on his face. Kill. Su Chen roared. He has forgotten how many times he has made a move. In the battle of just half a cup of tea, there are too many strong men fighting with him. At this time, he is very exhausted. Even though he is much stronger than ordinary gods, even if he can be invincible at the same level, he is not feeling well at this time. The foundation of the Liu family is too terrifying. Any god in the Dongzhou province can become a hegemon. What's more, so many gods attacked together. Qing Xianxin and Zhang Taiyan wanted to help several times. But in the end, they were entangled by their opponents and were completely helpless. No, we can't go on like this. Su Chen's thoughts turned rapidly. He knew very well that, if he continued like this, the result would get worse and worse. Su Chen's mind turned quickly, and he immediately had an idea. He flashed and shuttled back and forth among the many enemies. For a while, the Liu family warriors who besieged Su Chen didn't figure out what Su Chen was going to do at all. Everyone's formation was suddenly in a mess. At this moment, Su Chen's eyes lit up. The opportunity has come. Withering needle, go. Su Chen raised his hand fiercely. The next second, 3 fine needles made of neither gold nor wood rushed straight to the 3 Liu family warriors in the early stage of the god realm. Su Chen's mental power, how terrifying. Under the cover of his mental power, the 3 people were stabbed by the withering needles before they could dodge. Ah! Help! My cultivation! Suddenly, 3 screams were heard. They were the 3 unlucky guys who were stabbed by the withered and flourishing needles. The 3 people's auras dropped madly. At this time, a golden light flashed under Su Chen's feet. He raised his hand and punched one person. The next second, bang! The Liu family strongman fell directly to the ground, and his life or death was unknown. The other two people who were stabbed by the needle were frightened to death when they saw Su Chen was so terrifying. Fortunately, there were many strong people around them at this time. Let the two people feel a little safe. Even so, the psychological pressure caused by Su Chen to them was also extremely huge. They did not expect that Su Chen would be so terrifying. In such an extreme situation, he could even cause them to lose their troops. Not good. That is the withered and flourishing needle of the withered face monk. Seal them up. Liu Shaoyan's eyes widened and reminded him hurriedly. He had seen the clues. Haha, it's too late. Su Chen sneered. He took out the withered and flourishing needle just now. Then, the golden light flashed again under his feet, and he killed another person. Old Yan. Liu Shaoyan roared. The two people who were hit by the needles were in danger. Unless Yan Maohua suppressed them with the formation, the two people would definitely die. Yan Maohua stopped Cheng Xianxin from saving Su Chen just now. Now, if Yan Maohua wants to leave, it depends on whether Cheng Xianxin agrees. Cheng Xianxin is also a master of formations, so how could he give him a chance to save people? Perhaps, Cheng Xianxin's level of formations is a little worse than Old Yan. But if it is just to block a few breaths, Cheng Xianxin, who holds the extremely cold glass cover, can still do it easily. Su Chen didn't expect that a few withered needles would make the Liu family strongmen lose their composure. In fact, many people have already become timid. For a while, the situation has improved a lot. At this time, a roar suddenly came. Su Chen, die. The roar came from Kingsang Temple. Oh no. People from Jinglin Villa are here too. King Mui and the others who were hiding in the dark changed their expressions. Damn it. Su Chen's face darkened. Before, he chose to come alone to kill directly because he was worried about alerting those people from Jinglin Villa. Unexpectedly, have these bastards grown dog noses? Zhang Long, whose face was also very ugly. Now, he simply couldn't continue fighting, seeing that the balance of victory had begun to tilt. As a result, the situation worsened again because of the arrival of Jinglin Villa. Whoosh, whoosh. Figures appeared one after another. Su Chen, die. Lan Changsheng's figure appeared with a fierce light in his eyes. His two apprentices, Lu Beicheng and Lu Beidao, both died at the hands of Su Chen. At this time, the two finally met. It can be said that when enemies meet, they are particularly jealous. Fourth update. Good night everyone. Thank you for your support. Chapter 812. The strong enemy returns. Along with Lan Changsheng, Yi Changru, the Eastern Venerable of Jinglin Villa, also arrived. Attack. Yi Changru also gave the order. At once, the strong men of Jinglin Villa all attacked Su Chen and others. Those below the divine realm were still okay and would not pose much of a threat. However, Yi Changru and Lan Changsheng were different. These two guys were genuine mid-stage divine realm masters. Even Su Chen had to treat them with caution. The Liu family's strong men were not weak to begin with. At this moment, with the addition of Jinglin Villa, the situation of Su Chen and others became even worse. These guys deserved to die. King Mu's pretty face was frosty, and she wanted to help Su Chen several times. Don't act rashly. Li Changfeng hurriedly stopped her. King Mu asked in confusion. Captain Wei, why haven't you taken action yet? If Lan Changsheng and Li Changru take action, Su Chen and others may not be able to withstand it at all. Li Changfeng had not spoken yet. On the side, Zhang Jinqiu said in a deep voice, there are others hiding in the dark. King Mui was stunned. She was only in the early stage of the divine realm, and her perception was weaker than that of Li Changfeng and Zhang Jinqiu. In addition, King Mui had been paying attention to the battle between Su Chen and others in the field, so she really didn't notice it. Who is it? King Mui asked hurriedly. Li Changfeng's face was serious. There are quite a few people who have made enemies with Su Chen. But think about who else can participate in this kind of battle. King Mu's eyes suddenly condensed. Two figures suddenly appeared in front of her. Yuzin Bei and Zhu Guodong? King Mui asked. Li Changfeng nodded. King Mu's face darkened. She had also heard about what happened to Su Chen recently. Zhu Guodong of the inspection division of the Tiger Guard wanted to capture Su Chen at the beginning, but his goal was not achieved in the end. and the Inspector Yuzhenbei of the Dragon Guard was the same. This time, these two people have also arrived, and it seems that they are ready to capture people at any time. Li Changfeng's face was serious, and he whispered, both Zhu Guodong and Yuzhenbei will be concerned about their identities, and are unlikely to act rashly. Perhaps, they have been waiting for Jinglin Villa to consume the combat effectiveness of Su Chen and others, with the intention of taking advantage of the conflict between the two sides. When Su Chen is completely exhausted, they will most likely use the death of Chen Zifeng as an excuse to take Su Chen down directly. Qin Qingmui spat, so insidious. Li Changfeng nodded and said, Zhu Guodong and Yuzhenbei both have deep roots in the Liu family of Shangjing. But they can't bring this relationship to the surface and act directly on behalf of the Liu family. If it was a fool like Liu Xiaohong, he might have given orders recklessly. But with Liu Xiaoan in charge, he would never be so stupid. As the chief of the Dongzhou Tiger Capturing Guard, Li Changfeng could still see these things clearly. Qin Qingmui asked, Captain Wei, what should we do now? Li Changfeng said in a deep voice, now, we can only wait. Whether it's us, Yuzhenbei, or Zhu Guodong, the one who makes the first move is likely to be criticized. We can take the initiative after they can't help but make the move. Qin Qingmui frowned, but still endured it. She knew that what Li Changfeng said was right. On the battlefield, the situation Su Chen faced became dangerous again. A bunch of innate masters from Jinglin Villa didn't help much, but Yi Changru and Lian Changsheng were very powerful. The two of them made continuous moves, which directly made Su Chen flustered again. However, fortunately, Jinglin Villa and the Liu family rarely cooperated, which gave Su Chen many opportunities. Su Chen launched a golden light that stretched the ground, dodging back and forth, looking for opportunities. For a while, Lian Changsheng, Yi Changru, and the Liu family masters were in a hurry, but they couldn't do anything to Su Chen. Seeing this, Qin Qingmui's heart was slightly relieved. On the other side, Zhu Guodong couldn't hold it back any longer. Although, he also vaguely sensed the breath of Qin Qingmui and others. But he still couldn't bear it, and stood up, and attacked Su Chen brazenly. Tiger Oars in the forest. Zhu Guodong roared. Then, he flashed out, and punched Su Chen fiercely. The next second, the violent fist intent condensed into a colorful tiger, rushing towards Su Chen with the momentum of swallowing mountains and rivers. This tiger is huge, like a mountain, and seems to come from the ancient wilderness, with endless fierceness, wanting to swallow everything. The ordinary masters of Jinglin Villa around were directly frightened out of their faces. They had never seen such a terrifying fist intent. Su Chen saw this familiar move, and his eyes condensed slightly. Although his strength has improved a lot, he still has to be careful to deal with it. In an instant, Su Chen's vitality flowed, and his mental power erupted. The physical strength of the heavenly realm, which is comparable to immortal refined gold, was also integrated into it. Divine Wolf Fist. Su Chen greeted with a punch. Although, facing Zhu Guodong's tiger roaring in the forest, he would not be careless. However, he no longer needs to be as cautious as before. Today's Su Chen has improved a lot compared to that day. In particular, his Yin Shen Yang Shen has been completely transformed into the spiritual spirit of the spiritual master. The improvement of spiritual power can be described as a qualitative change. With one punch, the world is eclipsed. The shadow of Yaodao Mountain suddenly appeared. That huge shadow is even more powerful than the giant tiger swallowing the sky. In an instant, Zhu Guodong's giant tiger was a little bit of a dwarf compared to the giant. Fist intention is the martial artist's understanding of martial arts. It is also an extension of the spiritual level. If you only practice martial arts, the fist intention may be powerful, but it will not have a great impact on the spiritual master. In fact, it may not be able to shake the spiritual master at all. If martial arts and spiritual power are practiced together, the two sides complement each other, and the power of fist intention will naturally be twice the result with half the effort. Now, Su Chen has become a spiritual power master. In particular, he is also a spiritual god transformed from Yang Shen and Yin Shen together, and his spiritual power is more vast than others. The endless spiritual power instantly made the virtual image of Yaodao Mountain more solid. The next second, the virtual image of Yaodao Mountain was like a real mountain, pressing down from the sky. Boom. Everyone around seemed to hear a roar. The virtual image of Yaodao Mountain pressed down hard on the ferocious tiger. The violent force made the tiger's body dented. Raw. The tiger roared in pain. First update. Chapter 813. Helping. Seeing this scene, Zhu Guodan was in doubt. A fierce light flashed in his eyes, and the murderous intent was even stronger. In just a few days, this kid has grown to such a terrifying level. At first, in the Tiger Guard, this kid was not his opponent. But now, the opponent's mountain phantom can suppress his fist. Zhu Guodan is extraordinary, and he is in the middle stage of the god realm. Even though he was shocked, he still did not give up the struggle of fist. Boy, die. At this moment, a roar sounded beside him. Su Chen turned his head and saw that it was Liu Yuanwu, a strong man from the Liu family. As the saying goes, take advantage of your illness to kill you. Su Chen understood this truth. Jinglin Villa understood it, and Liu Yuanwu naturally understood it. At this time, he saw Su Chen being attacked by Zhu Guodan, and immediately took the opportunity to attack Su Chen. Liu Yuanwu's strength is not weak at all. He is also a strong man in the middle stage of the heavenly man realm. The last time, in the Cheng family villa, originally, with Liu Yuanwu's strength, he could indeed injure Su Chen. But he didn't expect that Cheng Xianxin suddenly appeared. Cheng Xianxin relied on the magic weapon and attacked forcefully, which directly made Liu Yuanwu lose face. But to be honest, Liu Yuanwu was not weak at all. He was in the middle stage of the physical body of the heavenly man realm, and he was a real strong man in the middle stage of the divine realm. Even if Su Chen fought him head on, he might not be able to gain any advantage. Facing such an opponent, Su Chen would naturally not be stupid enough to fight him. Ghost Wall. Su Chen threw out another instant formation. The power of this formation was not great, and it could only delay time at most. But in such a war, even a momentary delay would bring unimaginable changes in the battle situation. However, before Su Chen could make any move, another figure attacked. Su Chen, go to hell. The person who came was not someone else, but Yu Xinbei, the inspector of the Dragon Slayer guards in Changjing. Hellfire Realm. A roar. Then, flames filled with destructive power came overwhelmingly. The flames swept towards Su Chen from all directions. The dark flames seemed to be able to burn everything. The masters who besieged Su Chen immediately retreated. With such an attack, even if they were touched a little, it would be very troublesome. Yu Xinbei showed a sneer of success on his face. Especially in the case of a sudden attack, even a strong man in the late stage of the god realm would be in a mess. Moreover, the fire element in his vitality is different from that of others. His fire attributed vitality carries fire poison. Even if Su Chen can escape, he will be burned. You jumping clown, you can only attack secretly. Didn't you fail the same last time you used this trick? Just fire poison, nothing more than that. Su Chen sneered. As soon as the voice fell, Su Chen not only did not dodge, but stood still, frantically urging the invincible golden body and the heavenly realm body. The flame vitality in his body also circulated frantically. The light black flame in the Yan'an Yuan Qi was higher than Yu Xinbei's flame, and it could absorb some flame power to recover. Su Chen breathed a sigh of relief. The others were forced to retreat by Yu Xinbei's fire poison, which made him relax for a moment. Although his body suffered a certain amount of pain, his internal energy was restored to a certain extent. In Su Chen's view, Yu Xinbei's move was simply to help. However, in the eyes of Yu Xinbei and others, Su Chen was escaping in pain in the Hellfire world. Seeing this scene, Qin Qingmei almost jumped out. However, she was still blocked by Li Changfeng. Li Changfeng said, wait a little longer. Hearing this, Qin Qingmei glared and said, still waiting? Wait for Su Chen to die. Qin Qingmei's face was full of anger. Don't worry, he can't die. Li Changfeng shook his head. You. Qin Qingmei gritted her teeth. Li Changfeng explained, Su Chen is fine. If he was really in danger, he would definitely call us. Qin Qingmei was stunned. But even if Yu Xinbei's Hellfire Realm can't do anything to Su Chen, he will still die later. Qin Qingmei was puzzled. The situation on Su Chen's side did not look optimistic. Zhang Long, who was seriously injured and could not join the battle now. Although Meng Diqiu did not escape, he still fought around to protect his own safety. As for Zhang Taiyan and Cheng Xianxin, they were both very strong. However, they were also outnumbered and were held back by their opponents. Su Chen was now surrounded by wolves. If he was not careful, he might be doomed. Yu Zhenbei and others looked at Su Chen surrounded by flames with smiles on their faces. Soon, they could not laugh anymore. No. This kid is fine. He is recovering quietly. Yu Zhenbei realized something was wrong and shouted. Su Chen sneered. Thank you, you big fool, for letting me rest. Yu Zhenbei's face turned pale. Su Chen spoke again. Give it back to you. As soon as the voice fell, Su Chen suddenly blasted out. Boom. Suddenly, the flames of the Hellfire Realm spread out. Yu Zhenbei and others dodged one after another. However, there were 2 innate masters from Jinglin Villa who did not have time to dodge and were directly entangled by the flames. Ah. Ah. After 2 screams, the 2 innate masters from Jinglin Villa were directly burned to death by the fire poison. Everyone looked ugly. Yi Changru's face was even darker, and he said angrily, "Asshole, you are looking for death." As soon as the voice fell, he gathered his mental power and attacked Su Chen fiercely. However, this time Su Chen already had the yin-yang spirit god, so he could deal with it calmly. Kill him. Zhu Guodan shouted, and everyone besieged Su Chen frantically again. For a while, Su Chen could only rely on the golden light to fight. Su Chen was secretly anxious in his heart. The enemy Linup was too strong. Although he had reduced the number of the opponent before. But with the support of Jinglin Villa, Zhu Guodan and Yu Zhenbei later, the opponent's strength became stronger. Moreover, the Divine Realm enemies coming from behind were all mid-stage Divine Realm warriors. At this moment, the mid-stage Divine Realm warriors besieging Su Chen exceeded 5. Moreover, there were so many early-stage Divine Realm warriors. With such a Linup, not to mention King Mui, even Zhang Jinqiu wanted to attack several times, but he finally held back. The Liu family really spent a lot of money this time. Not only did they dispatch more than 10 Divine Realm warriors from the Liu family, but they also arranged so many powerful foreign aids. With such a terrifying Linup, even if they attacked the entire martial arts world of an ordinary small country, I'm afraid it would be no problem. For a while, Su Chen was in danger again. Second update. Chapter 814. Activating the Grand Formation. This won't do. Su Chen's face was extremely gloomy. This situation was extremely bad. If he continued to waste time, his result would not be very good. Even if Li Changfeng, Zhang Jinqiu and King Mui came out, it might not be of any use. After all, the other side had more than 3 strong men on his side. So how to break the situation? Su Chen's mind was spinning wildly. To catch a thief, first catch the leader. Su Chen's eyes turned cold. The next second, he frantically urged the invincible golden body, mobilized the physical defense of the Vajrahat realm, and resisted the attacks of Zhu Guodong and others. With a flash of golden light under his feet, he went straight to Liu Shaoan. Young Master Liu, retreat quickly. The Liu family's strong men were shocked. They didn't expect that Su Chen would fight so hard to attack Liu Shaoan. At this time, a figure rushed over regardless. It was the Liu family's physical body in the middle stage of the Heavenly Man realm who had resisted Su Chen's attack before. Even if he was injured, he would not let Su Chen hurt Liu Shaoan. Kill. Su Chen shouted angrily, full of momentum. A punch was thrown with endless power, as if even the space was shattered. Bang. A figure was knocked away. That's right. The purpose of Su Chen's punch was not to kill or injure. Instead, it was to completely knock the body refining expert away. Therefore, his attack this time looked powerful, but he used more and more shock and repulsion. Su Chen's purpose was to make him unable to rescue in time. However, other gods took advantage of the moment when Su Chen was blocked and hit him. Get out. Su Chen relied on his undefeated golden body and strong body to withstand the damage from everyone and rushed towards Liu Shaoan again. This posture of dying together frightened the Liu family masters. If Liu Shaoan got into trouble, they would all be buried with him. At this moment, all the Liu family masters were a little flustered. The masters didn't care about entanglement with Cheng Xianxin and Zhang Taiyan, and they fought back one by one. Even if they couldn't kill Su Chen, they had to protect Liu Shaoan. Liu Shaoan's status was too special. Anyone who knew his true identity would be more respectful to him than the head of the Liu family. Those who did not know Liu Shaoan's true identity, intimidated by the majesty of the Liu family's ancestor, also did not dare to disrespect Liu Shaoan. Cheng Xianxin and Zhang Tai'an wanted to stop him. However, the Liu family's gods were fighting desperately, and they did not stop them in a hurry. Quick, retreat to Qingxin courtyard first. There is a formation inside that can temporarily delay a little time. Our Liu family strongman shouted loudly. Young Master Liu, you retreat first. We will stop him for you temporarily. Our Liu family strongman looked solemn and blocked Su Chen's way. However, they did not know that the golden light on the ground was not an ordinary body movement. This is one of the 36 great divine powers of the sky. Not to mention just a few gods. Even if there were more, Su Chen would have a chance to break through. However, Su Chen did not do so. He had other plans in mind. Therefore, Su Chen followed the script of the Liu family's gods and continued to act. It looked as if the strong man in the early stage of the god realm really blocked him. 3 surrounded and 1 missing. Su Chen sneered in his heart. His unstoppable momentum was actually just to put more pressure on the Liu family's strong man in the god realm. Faced with Liu Shaoan's crisis, the Liu family masters had to choose to return to defense. Compared with the Liu family's strong men, Zhu Guodong, Yu Zhenbei and the people from Jinglin Villa were different. They saw that the Liu family was besieging Su Chen, so they attacked Cheng Xianxin and others to prevent them from helping Su Chen. It was also Su Chen's superb acting skills that even Cheng Xianxin and Zhang Tai'an did not realize that Su Chen was doing this on purpose. At this time, a strange scene appeared on the battlefield. Su Chen rushed towards Liu Shaoan frantically. The Liu family's strong men in the god realm were like basketball players returning to defense, running very fast one by one. Behind the Liu family's strong men, Cheng Xianxin and Zhang Tai'an who wanted to intercept them followed, fearing that they would stop Su Chen from making the basket. This scene seemed like a friendly basketball game. The two players collided fiercely. In order to tie the score, no one was willing to give up half a point. And Su Chen did this for only one purpose, to force the Liu family to enter the Qingxin courtyard. As for the reason, it was because Su Chen had discovered that the terrain near the Qingxin courtyard was the terrain of the formation sent by the old Taoist priest of Qingxin Temple. Moreover, the ancestors of Qingxin Temple had already laid the foundation for the formation, and it was not difficult for Su Chen to activate it. The current development of the situation was beyond Su Chen's expectations to a certain extent. Unexpectedly, Liu Shaoan was more cautious than he thought. Not only did he bring more than 10 gods from the Liu family, but he also invited Zhu Guodong, Yu Zhenbei and people from Jinglin Villa at the same time. Now, even if Li Changfeng and others come out, it is difficult to tie. The only chance to turn the tables is the formation diagram given by the old Taoist priest of Qingxin Temple. If the formation can be activated, everything can be solved. Qingxin Courtyard was originally the ancestral property of Qingxin Temple. Because the Liu family was too strong, the master and apprentice were all injured, so they had to let the Liu family live here temporarily. And Qingxin Temple is not without foundation. This formation is the legacy to Qingxin Temple. Whether it is to delay time or wait for rescue, it is the best safe house. The formation diagram has long been engraved in Su Chen's mind. At this time, he just took the opportunity to observe the terrain and comprehend the formation, while using Liu Shaoan and the Liu family's strong men to lead them over. As long as enough Liu family strong men are trapped, Jinglin Villa will not be a worry. No one knows what Su Chen is thinking. Even Liu Shaoan only thought that Su Chen was desperate and wanted to drag him down before he died. And Liu Shaoan naturally would not give Su Chen this opportunity. While retreating to Qingxin Courtyard, he let the Liu family strong men gather around him. Liu Shaoan wanted to ensure that no matter what Su Chen had, he could not hurt himself. As more and more Liu family strong men came to the courtyard, a faint smile appeared on Su Chen's mouth. His goal was achieved. Open the gates of heaven, open the gates of earth. Do not hesitate on the road of reincarnation. 2 locks of life and death. All living beings are like dust. The locks of heaven appear. The locks of earth appear. Set up the formation. As Su Chen shouted the last few words, suddenly, a terrifying pressure came. In the Qingxin courtyard, everyone in the Liu family felt their breath choked. Golden light. Before Su Chen's voice completely fell, a golden light flashed under his feet, and he left the Qingxin courtyard directly. This is. Everyone in the Liu family was still a little confused. The next moment, their faces froze. They finally found that they were trapped in the formation. Moreover, this formation. The third update is here. Let's do 3 updates today. Thank you all for your support. Good night. Chapter 815. The situation changes again. Master Yan. Is Master Yan here? Liu Shaoan shouted hurriedly under the protection of the Liu family's strong men. No matter how cunning he was, Liu Shaoan was just a young man, and he would be nervous when he was in danger. At this moment, his face was no longer calm. He had never thought that there was a terrifying formation hidden in Qingxin courtyard. Moreover, he didn't know what the formation activated by Su Chen was for. At this moment, Liu Shaoan felt out of control. Master Liu, I'm here, I'm here. Yang Maohua's voice came from outside the formation. Damn it. Liu Shaoan's face became more and more gloomy. Yang Maohua didn't follow him into the formation at all. If Yan Maohua was in the formation, although he might not be able to break this strange formation, Liu Shaoan would still have some confidence in his heart. Now, Yan Maohua was isolated outside, and Liu Shaoan was naturally uneasy. For a while, inside and outside the courtyard, there were already 2 different worlds. Master Yan, is there a way to break the formation? Liu Shaoan's impatient voice came, with endless anger. Young Master Liu. Before Yan Maohua finished speaking, Cheng Xianxin caught up again. An attack formation attacked him again. Yang Maohua immediately did not bother to answer Liu Shaoan, but could only turn around to deal with Cheng Xianxin. This was also Yan Maohua's bad luck. In terms of the comprehension of the formation, he was obviously slightly better than Cheng Xianxin. However, he could not stand up to Cheng Xianxin, who had the extremely cold glass cover in his hand. With the blessing of the magic weapon, Cheng Xianxin narrowed the gap with Yan Maohua. With the extremely cold glass cover in hand, if Cheng Xianxin just wanted to delay Yan Maohua, it would be easy. Because of this, all the strong men of the Liu family protected the emperor at the first time. On the contrary, Yan Maohua, the master of the formation, was old and weak, and he did not catch up at all due to the delay of Cheng Xianxin. Zhao, hold Yan Maohua back. Master Zhang, please hold Zhu Guodong and Yuzin Bei back. I'll deal with the people from Jinglin Villa first. Su Chen immediately gave the order. In order to protect Liu Shaoan, all the Liu family warriors have entered the Qingxin courtyard. Except for Yan Maohua, who was left outside, there was no one else in the Liu family. At this time, only the people from Jinglin Villa, Yuzin Bei, the Dragon Slayer Guard, and Zhu Guodong, the Tiger Capture Guard, were left on the battlefield. On the other hand, Su Chen's side, although Zhang Long, who was no longer able to fight, Meng Diqiu, the old man, was not seriously injured from beginning to end, which was also a bonus. Cheng Xianxin and Zhang Tai'an were both capable of fighting. Add Su Chen. For a moment, the balance of victory seemed to sway again. Not to mention that the Liu family and the people from Jinglin Villa did not expect it. Even Zhang Tai'an and Cheng Xianxin were surprised. Su Chen did a really great job. Especially the way he desperately rushed towards Liu Shaoan. His acting skills were simply explosive. There were nearly 20 powerful masters at the God Realm level. However, no one discovered Su Chen's true purpose. Brother, don't worry, this old guy won't run away. Cheng Xianxin laughed. That frivolous smile made Yan Maohua's face change immediately. Master, just go ahead, I'll take care of these 2. Zhang Tai'an was also unambiguous, and directly attacked Yuzin Bei and Zhu Guodong, holding them back. Zhu Guodong and Yuzin Bei's faces turned pale. Master Zhang, have you thought about it? Inspector, you and I are backed by the Dragon Slayer Guard and the Tiger Capture Guard. Are you sure you want to go against us? Zhu Guodong shouted loudly. Inspector Zhu, that's too much. Zhang Tai'an smiled faintly. We are all warriors, and I have heard of your great names for a long time, so I want to ask for advice and exchange ideas. You. Zhu Guodong's face twitched with anger. He attacked several times in a row, but was stopped by Zhang Tai'an. Zhu Guodong was so angry that his lungs exploded, but he didn't dare to really kill Zhang Tai'an. Yu Xinbei also looked unhappy. In front of Zhang Tai'an, he was also restrained. Sometimes, he even had to take the initiative to restrain himself. There was no way who made Zhang Tai'an's status too respected. Xianxi Mountain Zuaniuan Mansion. This is the ancestral home of Taoism. As the Xianxi of Xianxi Mountain Zuaniuan Mansion, Zhang Tai'an's status can be imagined. What's more, Xianxi Mountain has a good relationship with the upper level. Even if Xianxi Mountain is not an official, it is considered a non-staff member. Although Zhu Guodong and Yu Xinbei, one from the Tiger Guard and the other from the Dragon Guard, did not dare to kill. Not to mention them, even if their direct leaders came, they did not dare to be too arrogant to Zhang Tai'an. Damn it. Zhu Guodong and Yu Xinbei were very frustrated. They didn't expect that Su Chen was not only powerful, but also could pull Zhang Tai'an as a helper. The two turned their heads and saw that Su Chen had already rushed into the Jinglan Villa camp. Yi Changru and Lian Chengsheng immediately stepped forward to fight. But who would have thought that Su Chen would not fight with the two directly, but relied on the advantage of Sudu to rush into the Xianshan realm masters of Jinglan Villa. For a time, Yi Changru and Lian Chengsheng were worried about accidentally hurting their own people, so they were restrained. But Su Chen had no scruples and went on a killing spree. In the blink of an eye, 2 Yuan key masters were killed by Su Chen. Asshole! Lian Chengsheng cursed angrily, and Lian Chengsheng shouted repeatedly, you all disperse and hide behind me and Yizun's. For a time, the Jinglan Villa camp was in chaos. Yu Xinbei and Zhu Guodong saw this scene and immediately became anxious. Su Chen's speed was too amazing, and Lian Chengsheng and Yi Changru might not be able to take him down. So, they had to go over to help. However, the two looked at Zhang Tai'an who was blocking their way, and they were immediately very angry. Yu Xinbei's eyes were fierce, and he roared, Hellfire Realm. First update. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 816, 7 stars in a row. At this moment, Yu Xinbei no longer cares about so much. No matter whether Zhang Tai'an will be hurt or not, he will break through the obstruction and kill Su Chen. At worst, he will go to Xianxi Mountain to apologize in person afterwards. In an instant, the terrifying flames enveloped Zhang Tai'an. The surging heat waves made the space slightly distorted, and even every breath became tormented. However, Yu Xinbei still held back a little. After all, Zhang Tai'an's identity was too sensitive. What a hellfire world. Facing the surging flames, Zhang Tai'an was not in a hurry. He took out another whisk in his hand. Xianxi whisk. To be more precise, this is a replica made by later generations, based on Xianxi whisk. It is powerful, but it cannot be controlled by spirits. The handle of the whisk is neither gold nor wood, and it is unknown what material it is made of. At this time, it was held in Zhang Tai'an's hand, but it was as warm as jade, and was not affected by the flames at all. The silver threads at the end of the whisk are also very strange. In this terrifying flame, there was neither melting nor any sign of ignition. You know, Zhang Tai'an was surrounded by the Hellfire Realm at this time, and the temperature around him was extremely high. If an egg fell to the ground, it might be directly spread into an egg pancake. Daoyao, do you know what my Xianxi Mountain Zuaniuan mansion is best at? Zhang Tai'an smiled, holding a whisk in one hand and pinching the magic formula with the other. Yu Xinbei was silent. He was a little puzzled. What did Zhang Tai'an mean by this? He naturally knew a lot about Xianxi Mountain. And what Xianxi Mountain is best at, isn't it refining pills? Legend has it that the founder of Xianxi Mountain once refined pills in Xianxi Mountain. After refining pills for 49 days, the pills became dragons and tigers. When the dragon and the tiger met, auspicious clouds descended from the sky, and thousands of auspicious mists appeared. the founder of Xianqi Mountain, finally ascended to heaven. And Zhang Tai'an, as the Xianqi of this generation of Xianqi Mountain Zhou Wanqiu and Mansion, how could he not understand the way of pills? In fact, his level of alchemy is not inferior to most of the divine doctors on the saint hand list. The next second, Yu Zhenbei knew what Zhang Tai'an meant. Fire control technique. Zhang Tai'an shouted. Suddenly, the fierce flames around him became as docile as a trained kitten. The flames turned into dragons with bared fangs and claws, and then turned into vicious tigers that chose to eat people. The appearance was so lifelike. Yu Zhenbei was so gloomy that it seemed like water could drip. Today, he used the Hellfire Elm twice. The first time, Su Chen pretended to use it as a shield to catch his breath. The second time, Zhang Tai'an directly used it. Tiger roaring in the forest. At this moment, Zhu Guodong made a move. In an instant, a fierce tiger burst out from his fist. Zhu Guodong was not weak. He was in the middle stage of the divine realm. When he made a move, he was unparalleled in power, as if the whole world was shocked by the tiger's roar. There is no room for two tigers in one mountain. Daoist friend, why don't you try my tiger too? Zhang Tai'an finished speaking. Then, he controlled the tiger of the Hellfire world and rushed towards Zhu Guodong's fist tiger. Inspector Zhu, get out of here. Yu Zhenbei saw this and shouted angrily. He knew very well how terrifying his flames were, not to mention that they were poisonous. However, Yu Zhenbei's reminder was still half a second late. The flame tiger controlled by Zhang Tai'an was invisible and intangible, but it was extremely fast. In an instant, it rushed towards the ferocious tiger. Roar. The tiger roared in the mountains. The power of the king. Zhu Guodong's fist tiger was baring its teeth and claws. The eyes that chose to devour people seemed to be completely aroused by the provocation of the same kind. However, the fire tiger mimicked by Zhang Tai'an did not move. Its steps even made people feel elegant, as if it didn't take its opponent seriously at all. At this moment, two tigers fighting. A fist tiger, with a huge body like a Godzilla monster, seemed to have terrifying sound waves that could destroy the whole world. A flaming tiger, also huge in size, but with graceful steps, did not take the ferocious tiger on the opposite side, which was comparable to Godzilla. Seriously, when two tigers fight, one will be injured. Roar, roar. The two tigers, each with its own form, suddenly collided with each other. Swish. With a crisp sound, the majestic fire tiger was torn to pieces in an instant. For a moment, everyone was stunned. Even Zhu Guodong had countless question marks in his mind. What is going on? He looked at Zhang Tai'an in surprise. His eyes seemed to be asking, you made such a big noise, but it turned out to be a paper tiger? However, Zhang Tai'an's face was calm, as if he had expected such a result. Just when Zhu Guodong was confused, the spell in Zhang Tai'an's hand changed again. The flaming tiger dissipated, but the Hellfire world was still there. The next moment, the flaming tiger that had just been torn to pieces appeared again vividly. It was still majestic, like the king of the forest, and anyone under its feet would have to surrender. And this time, before Zhu Guodong's fist tiger could act, the flame tiger took the initiative to attack. The fist tiger tore the flame tiger apart again and again, but the flame tiger seemed to be immortal and kept condensing. The fight between the two tigers was deadlocked. Zhu Guodong and Yu Zhenbei were very angry, but they could not get through Zhang Tai'an's obstruction. On the other side, on Su Chen's side, the battle also became fierce. The Xiantian realm masters of Jinglin Villa finally realized that this was not a battle they could participate in. After being reminded by Lan Changsheng and Li Changru, they quickly hid behind the two and dared not approach Su Chen again. Lan Changsheng and Li Changru, on the other hand, attacked Su Chen frantically. For a while, Su Chen was also scratching his head. These two opponents were both strong. Lan Changsheng was good at formations and mechanical puppets. At this time, he could not arrange the mechanism in advance, but he had a powerful puppet with him. Li Changru is also in the middle stage of the divine realm, and he is also a spiritual master in the middle stage of the divine realm. Any of these two people is not weak to Su Chen now, and they have many methods, and are extremely difficult to deal with. Especially Lan Changsheng, he has some restraint on Su Chen. The several puppets in his hands are all comparable to the strong men in the divine realm. 7 stars in a row. Lan Changsheng roared. The The next second, the 7 puppets were arranged into a movable battle formation. Second update. Chapter 817. 5 Kiss returning to origin. 7 puppets instantly formed a battle formation. Su Chen was also a master of formations. But in front of the 7 stars in a row formation formed by these puppets, he was somewhat restrained. This formation was not completely arranged by dead objects, but by puppets with cultivation comparable to that of the god realm. No matter where Su Chen attacked, these puppets could dodge. Moreover, they were not much slower than the Zhou Wanqiu martial god. In this way, Su Chen could not break the eye of the formation at all. Once the formation was in operation, it would not be easy for him to escape. What's more, in addition to Lan Changsheng's 7 stars in a row battle formation, there was also a covetous Yi Changru who was attacking secretly. Yi Changru was a spiritual immortal master, and he was also in the middle stage of the god realm. Even Su Chen had to be extremely careful. Bang, bang, bang. The 7 god realm puppets attacked and retreated together, and coupled with Yi Changru's harassment, Su Chen was accidentally hit by a few moves. Although the attacks of these god realm puppets were not fatal, they also made Su Chen quite uncomfortable. The attack from the god realm strongman made Su Chen's blood boil. Even though he was in the heaven realm, his steps staggered slightly. Seeing Su Chen being hit by the god realm puppet, Yi Changru's face lit up with joy. Break the void. Yi Changru shouted softly, and a faint spiritual blade light actually penetrated the formation and slashed towards Su Chen's sea of consciousness. Spirit God, turn. Su Chen shouted softly. A huge peak suddenly appeared in the sea of consciousness, which was the phantom of Yaodao Mountain. Just as the faint blade light attacked, the phantom of Yaodao Mountain took shape. Boom. The spiritual blade light slashed fiercely on the phantom of Yaodao Mountain. A loud noise exploded in the sea of consciousness. Yi Changru's spiritual blade light exploded instantly, but the phantom of Yaodao Mountain also shook slightly. Su Chen's face turned pale. Although he withstood this move, he was not comfortable. In martial arts practice, one step at a time. The gap in realm is not so easy to be eliminated. Even though he was a spiritual god of yin and yang, he could only barely resist. No, this is not a solution. Su Chen's eyes were solemn. If he continued to delay, he would be the only one who would suffer. At this moment, without the Xianshan realm masters of Jinglin Villa, Lan Changsheng and Yi Changru had no scruples. One of them was a puppet battle formation, and the other was a spiritual attack, cooperating very well. Attacking at the same time, Su Chen could only passively take the beating, and there was not much chance to fight back. Su Chen was secretly anxious. It won't work if it drags on like this. Although the Liu family's strongman was trapped in the Kingshan courtyard by the formation was only about level 7. Without the formation master presiding, with only the strength of the level 7 formation, it may not last long under the attack of many gods of the Liu family. When the Liu family's strongman breaks out of the formation, I'm afraid something big will happen today. Su Chen was already clear in his mind. There must be no delay, and a quick battle must be decided. Su Chen gritted his teeth and shouted in his heart, 9 extremes. Divine Wolfist. Unbeatable golden body. In an instant, Su Chen's whole body defense and attack have reached the peak. Now, it is difficult to break Lan Changsheng's 7 stars link by trickery. Su Chen decided to break the formation violently and kill a divine realm puppet first. Bang, bang, bang. Another series of attacks fell on Su Chen, blocking him from approaching. For a moment, Su Chen's figure couldn't help but shake slightly. However, Su Chen's feet were shining with golden light, and he withstood the attack of the divine realm puppet, and suddenly got close to him. The next second, explode. Su Chen punched the puppet fiercely. This punch was Su Chen's peak punch. The attack of the divine wolfist was already extremely terrifying. What's more, there is also the powerful amplification of the 9 extremes. Although the 9 extremes cannot increase the divine wolfist by 9 times, but even if it is only 2 or 3 times the amplification, it is terrifying enough. Bang! Su Chen hit the puppet with one punch. Crack. A crisp sound. The puppet made of unknown material disintegrated instantly. Suddenly, Lan Changsheng's 7 stars linked beads was violently broken by Su Chen. Damn it. Lan Changsheng's face sank. He didn't expect that Su Chen's strength was so terrifying. He actually withstood the attacks of 7 God Realm puppets and forcibly killed one puppet under the blessing of the formation. Before, the reason why Su Chen couldn't break the formation was because these puppets could share the damage with each other. Now a puppet was blown to pieces, and the 7 stars linked beads formation could not be formed. Lan Changsheng's figure was suddenly exposed. For a moment, Lan Changsheng was a little flustered. Although his puppets and battle formations were strong, he himself was not much more resistant to beatings than the puppets. There was no time to think about it. Lan Changsheng used his means and immediately pulled a puppet to block in front of him. At the same time, he quickly pinched his fingers and arranged the battle formation again. However, Su Chen would not give him such an opportunity. Die. Su Chen pounced on another puppet. Crack. Another puppet was blasted to pieces in an instant. However, Lan Changsheng also reacted quickly. With the delay of the second puppet, another battle formation had been arranged. It was the 5 keys converging to the origin formation arranged by 5 puppets. Kill. Lan Changsheng shouted. In an instant, the 5 puppets attacked together. 5 terrifying attacks were condensed into one. You know, these are 5 puppets comparable to the God Realm. The strength of any one of them is not much weaker than the initial stage of the God Realm. What's more, this is a joint attack of 5 puppets together. In an instant, even Su Chen felt a sense of hair standing on end. He had a feeling that, if he was hit by this attack, his Shinran realm body might not be able to withstand it. These 5 attacks are not simple. Each one is in the God realm, and each attack can amplify each other, and the power is even stronger than ordinary attacks. Gold, wood, water, fire, and earth. Each attack has an attribute. Under the premise of the mutual generation of the 5 element, at least the strength of each attack is increased by more than 30%. What makes Su Chen feel even more difficult is that, at the same time, Yi Changru is not idle either. He once again condenses the breaking void slash, and prepares to slash at Su Chen's sea of consciousness again. In an instant, Su Chen is about to be attacked by both his body and soul at the same time. And any attack is extremely powerful, and can even cause a strong man of the same level to fall completely. For a moment, Su Chen was in danger again. The 3rd update. The next update will be in 10 minutes. Chapter 818, Sudden Intervention. Su Chen is indeed powerful. However, he is only in the physical heavenly realm and spiritual immortal master after all. Moreover, he has just reached the early stage of the divine realm in these 2 paths. For a moment, Lan Changsheng and Yi Changru showed a grim smile in their eyes. They seemed to have seen that Su Chen was seriously injured and died under their joint attack. With such an attack of this intensity, not to mention the early stage of the divine realm, even the late stage of the divine realm would be injured. What's more, Su Chen had just forcibly injured a lot of damage in order to destroy the 2 puppets. In this case, how could a small Su Chen survive? Damn it. At this time, King Mei, who was hiding in the dark, could no longer sit and watch. She flashed and killed Lan Changsheng, who was pinching the magic formula with her hands. This time, even Li Changfeng did not stop him. It was not that he did not trust Su Chen, but the attack of Lan Changsheng and Li Changru was too terrifying. If he did not take action again, there might be no chance to take action. The appearance of King Mei made Lan Changsheng's pupils shrink slightly. The magic formula in his hand suddenly changed. The 5 God Realm puppets suddenly stopped attacking Su Chen and attacked King Mei. Boom. King Mei was directly knocked back a few steps by the terrifying attack. Lan Changsheng looked ugly. If King Mei hadn't come to kill him just now, he would have probably seriously injured Su Chen. But King Mei attacked, and he had to defend himself. On the side, Yi Changru also quickly withdrew his hand and stared at King Mei. Jinglan Villa and Su Chen had a grudge, which everyone present knew. But King Mei's attack at this time meant something different. Could it be? Captain Qin, do you want to interfere in our private fight? Lan Changsheng snorted coldly. Mr. Lion, we can fight, but Su Chen is my advisor to the Tiger Guard. King Mei sneered. You. Lan Changsheng was angry. He naturally knew how difficult the Tiger Guard was. Su Chen killed Deputy Guard Chief Chen, and he is a criminal. I invited you to come here, fellow Daoist Lion. Yuzin Base sneered. Zhu Guodong also shouted, King Mui, if you dare to interfere again, don't blame me for reporting you. I will classify you as an accomplice of the thugs and severely investigate and punish you. All members of the entire Dongzhou province's tiger guards will be punished and put into the file, and they will not be promoted within 5 years. At this moment, Zhu Guodong actually threatened King Mui with other tiger guards. Captain Qin, did you hear that? Lan Changsheng sneered. As soon as he finished speaking, he cast a spell again, trying to kill Su Chen. You. King Mui stared at Zhu Guodong and Yu Xinbei, furious. No matter what, these two bastards are from Shangjing. If they add fuel to the fire, it will be really troublesome. Captain Qin, get out of the way. Su Chen said to King Mui, they are two rats, just chickens and dogs. King Mui was stunned. She looked at Su Chen with a puzzled look. Su Chen did not explain, but smiled indifferently. Although King Mui was puzzled, she still forced herself not to make another move. She knew Su Chen's character well, and he would never do anything without confidence. Sure enough, the next moment, Su Chen made his move. Su Chen waved his hand fiercely. Then, several yellow papers appeared. They were all talismans. Seeing these talismans from Su Chen, Lan Changsheng and Li Changru laughed instead. They believed that Su Chen had gone too far. In the battle between the strong men in the God Realm, talismans were not completely useless, but their effects had become negligible. Yao Ming Ming, 9 heavens thunder-inducing curse, fall on me. Su Chen recited the formula, and the yellow paper burned instantly. For a moment, an extremely terrifying pressure descended from the sky. The terrifying momentum made Li Changru's face change instantly. 9 heavens thunder-inducing curse. This move was not the first time Su Chen used it. Today, it was the first time he used talismans to attract thunder. The talisman plus the spell made the thunder more powerful. Suddenly, thunderbolts as thick as water jars poured down with endless divine power. Such terrifying thunderbolts, not to mention Yi Changru and Lan Changsheng. Even Su Chen himself was a little surprised. Before, King Mui suddenly attacked, causing Lan Changsheng's magic formula to pause, creating a gap for Su Chen. This is how the battle between powerful people in the divine realm is. Even a moment of stagnation may give the opponent more opportunities to win. If King Mui hadn't attacked suddenly, even if Su Chen could forcibly break Lan Changsheng's attack, he would definitely have to pay a price. But now, the situation has reversed. The thunderbolts as thick as water jars went straight to Yi Changru, as if testing the transformed monster beast. Boy, how could you? Yi Changru's eyes were full of horror. The terrifying thunderbolt made him completely confused. Even though Yi Changru was a spiritual immortal master in the middle stage of the divine realm, he could only mute his fire in the face of this almost endless thunder tribulation. Most spiritual immortal masters practiced by yin or yang gods to transform into spirit gods. There are very few people like Su Chen who can transform into a spirit god by combining yin and yang. In the martial arts world of Dragon Country, there are very few spiritual masters who can transform into spirit gods by cultivating yang gods. Most of them are cultivated from yin gods. Unfortunately, Yi Changru is a spirit god transformed from yin gods. If he encounters an ordinary strong man in the divine realm, his strength is really terrifying. A spiritual master in the middle stage of the divine realm, with the terrifying breaking void slash, ordinary gods can never be his opponent. When the yin god leaves the body, it can travel thousands of miles, and it is the yin god who takes the head of a person thousands of miles away. And the breaking void slash is also mysterious, and cannot be understood by ordinary people. Su Chen also had to admit that Yi Changru's breaking void slash was indeed difficult to deal with. Even he couldn't dodge it, and could only take it hard. If it were a warrior with poor mental power, how could he possibly resist the terrifying slash that seemed to be real and virtual? But now, under the thunder, Yi Changru could only protect himself in a panic. Kill. Yi Changru was already held back by Lei Ting, and Su Chen immediately attacked Lan Changsheng with all his strength. Lan Changsheng's 5 puppets in the God Realm set up the 5 keys to the origin battle formation, attacking in unison. Such a terrifying attack, combining the 5 element of gold, wood, water, fire, and earth, is quite powerful. Its strength has even surpassed the middle stage of the God Realm. Su Chen had to be extremely careful. This was all thanks to Qin Kingmu's intervention just now. Otherwise, if the power of this battle formation was fully integrated and exerted, it would probably be close to the late stage of the God Realm. The 4th update is here. Good night, everyone. Thank you for your support. Chapter 819 something. Divine Wolfist. 9 Extremes. Mysterious Heaven Flame. Su Chen attacked with all his strength again, and his defense and attack were all at the peak level. In an instant, a mountain phantom appeared. Under the amplification of the 9 extremes, the huge phantom was magnified 2 or 3 times, like a sacred mountain falling down. However, this time, Su Chen's attack did not use all his vitality. Instead, he transformed all the vitality in his body into the mysterious heaven flame. Su Chen's idea was very simple. Since Lian Changsheng's 5 kiss to Yuan is the unity of the 5 element, Su Chen had to find a way to break its balance, so that the 5 element attack could not continue to increase. The 5 element are mutually generated, but they can also restrain each other. Now, Su Chen is using his fire attributed vitality to disrupt Lian Changsheng's attack. The mysterious heaven flame burst out with all his strength. The light black flames rushed on the vigorous vitality. At the moment when this punch burst out, the surrounding air seemed to become hot. The steaming heat wave seemed to burn and distort the space. Su Chen punched out. With terrifying heat and determination to burn everything, he went forward without hesitation. Boom. A punch fell. The shadow of Yao Dao Mountain and Lian Changsheng's 5 kiss to Yuan attack collided with each other. The violent flame energy directly hit the wood attack. Although the 5 kiss to Yuan is the unity of the 5 element, it was just interrupted by Qin Kingmui, and the 5 element were not completely complete. And Su Chen used this small gap to send the flame energy into the wood energy. Boom. In an instant, it was like a spark splashing into a pile of gunpowder. The original 5 element were mutually generated and instantly became the 5 element conflicting. The power that had previously circulated and fused in the 5 God Realm puppets exploded instantly. 5 kiss to Yuan collapsed instantly. The violent power exploded in all directions. Boom. The 5 God Realm puppets were immediately blown away. The violent explosion force spread out in all directions. Bang, bang, thump. Su Chen was pushed out by this huge force and retreated more than 10 steps in succession. Lian Changsheng was even worse. The collapse of the 5 kiss brought a strong backlash. Puff. Lian Changsheng spurted out a mouthful of old blood, his face pale. Even though he was in the middle stage of the divine realm, he was seriously injured. Damn you. Lian Changsheng stared at Su Chen with fear and resentment. He never thought that Su Chen's fighting talent would be so amazing. Not only did he think of a way to crack it so quickly, but he also keenly caught a flaw in the 5 kiss. This kid must die. Lian Changsheng firmly believed this. However, before he could make any move, Su Chen moved first. Take advantage of your illness to kill you. Now, Yi Changru is still dealing with the thunder tribulation, and Lian Changsheng is suffering from the backlash again. This is a rare opportunity. He naturally can't miss it. Golden light on the ground. 9 extremes. A golden light flashed, and Su Chen rushed forward again. He punched hard. Bang. Lian Changsheng was unable to dodge and was hit directly in the chest by Su Chen's terrifying punch. Crack. A bone fracture sounded. Puff. Lian Changsheng spit out another mouthful of blood, and the whole person flew backwards. Looking at Lian Changsheng's chest again, it was still slightly collapsed. His face was even more like gold paper. Come again. Su Chen shouted, wanting to rush towards Lian Changsheng again, wanting to kill him completely. Suddenly, his feet suddenly softened, and he staggered and almost fell. Who? Su Chen quickly stood firm and took a few long breaths. A series of battles and dodging consumed him a lot, especially the 9 extreme strength. Although the 9-fold increase was extremely domineering, but the consumption of himself was also exaggerated to the extreme. If Su Chen had not had a deep foundation and rapid progress in cultivation, he would probably have died of exhaustion. Su Chen quickly stopped. Then, he took out a few pills from his arms and swallowed them. The spirit in the Niwen Palace also quickly cast several restorative spells, and Changsheng's vitality quickly repaired his body. This battle is full of dangers. If you are not careful, you will be doomed. Lian Changsheng's puppets and battle formations are extremely terrifying. Whether it is a 7 stars in a row or the 5 kiss returning to the origin. If an ordinary God Realm powerhouse encounters this guy, the only result is death. Even Su Chen had to use all his strength to break those attacks. Not to mention the 7 stars in a row he had to withstand so many attacks from the God Realm powerhouses. Su Chen was injured and destroyed 2 God Realm puppets. And the 5 kiss returning to the origin is also quite terrifying. The 5 element are born from each other, and a fusion attack is enough to kill the middle stage of the God Realm. After a series of battles, Su Chen was able to break the 7 stars in a row and 5 kiss returning to the origin, which is already quite rare. You know, Su Chen's opponent, in addition to Lan Changsheng, is Yi Changru, a spiritual immortal master in the middle stage of the God Realm. Under the pincer attack of 2 mid-level gods, Su Chen was not only not seriously injured, but also trapped Yi Changru with thunder, and then repelled Lan Changsheng, which was simply a miracle. This battle was too shocking. Such a result was not only unexpected by Yi Changru and Lan Changsheng, but also shocked Zhang Taiyan and others. King Mui was even more dumbfounded. Su Chen's progress and fighting talent were too scary. At this time, Su Chen did not think too much, but absorbed the power of the medicine with all his strength to recover. On the other side, a roar came from the thunder. RRRR. Su Chen, I'm going to kill you. Kill you. Yi Changru resisted the thunder while being furious. He was about to lose his mind due to the torture of thunder. Su Chen, this guy, attracted to terrifying thunder. The thunder as thick as a water tank made people's scalps numb. What's more, Yi Changru was chased and struck by thunder. Yi Changru is a spiritual immortal master, and his physical defense is not strong. Under the bombardment of thunder, his whole body was already emitting bursts of barbecue aroma. Su Chen looked in the direction of the voice and raised his eyebrows. Yi Changru, this old guy, was not dead. This surprised him a little. Spiritual masters mainly cultivate soul and spiritual power. And the spiritual masters who transform the yin god into the spirit god are much more restricted under thunder than the Zhou Wanqiu martial god. In fact, many spiritual masters have their souls annihilated by the bombardment of thunder and fell silently in the thunder tribulation. It is for this reason that Su Chen chose to use thunder attack on Lan Changsheng. He originally estimated that under the thunder tribulation, Yi Changru would be seriously injured, even if he did not die. But now it seems that Yi Changru is still full of energy, as if the situation is not serious. This old guy is something. First update. Chapter 820 Triple Wave. Yi Changru roared like a groundhog. A sneer appeared on Su Chen's face. Swish. A talisman appeared in his hand again. Revenge for revenge. Grievance for grievance. Before, Yi Changru had cooperated with Yu Xinbei to capture him. Now, he and Lan Changsheng besieged him again. Because of this, Su Chen would not be polite to him. Old man, it seems that you haven't suffered enough. Then I ask you to try the taste of bombardment again. Su Chen sneered. Su Chen, you dare. Seeing the talisman in Su Chen's hand, Yi Changru was numb all over. His body began to tremble slightly. What am I afraid of? Su Chen smiled contemptuously and immediately recited the spell. The dark and the dark, the 9-day lightning spell, fall for me. In an instant, Yi Changru's face, which had been struck by lightning, instantly became darker. Boom. The more violent thunder struck Yi Changru again. Yi Changru didn't bother to curse Su Chen. Seeing this, Su Chen regained his mind. He had recovered a little. Then, he turned his head and looked at Lan Changsheng again. Lan Changsheng stood firm again, and his face looked much better. The collapsed chest seemed to have healed, but his breath was still weak. Su Chen was not the only one who consumed a lot of energy in the battle. Lan Changsheng was also not feeling well controlling so many puppets in the god realm. What's more, he was also attacked by the puppet battle formation. If we only talk about the realm and combat power, Lan Changsheng is naturally stronger than Su Chen. After all, Lan Changsheng is in the middle stage of the god realm, and he is good at mechanical puppets and formations. However, Su Chen has always been different from ordinary people. He kills enemies in the same realm like slaughtering dogs, and even when facing a strong man who is one realm higher than himself, he can still be calm. Talent is one aspect, but more importantly, Su Chen has too many methods. Moreover, almost every method can be regarded as a secret skill for ordinary strongmen. Shenai Fist, Jiu Jijin, Aradeo, Changsheng Yuanqi, the spirit god transformed by the combination of yin and yang, Jiushan lightning curse, earth stretching golden light, undefeated golden body. Any of these means would be enough to make many strong men fight for it. But now, Su Chen has mastered them all. The bonus they give to Su Chen's combat power is unimaginable. What's more, there are many means that naturally restrain certain opponents. Kill. With a roar, Su Chen attacked Lan Changsheng again. Facing this mid-stage master of the god realm, Su Chen still dared not underestimate him. Jiu Jijin. Su Chen attacked with all his strength. Jiu Jijin amplified Shenai Fist. The huge phantom of Yaodao mountain appeared again, like a divine peak in the sky. Lan Changsheng's face was ferocious. Most of his puppets in the god realm were destroyed. Therefore, he could only choose to do it himself at this time. Su Chen, you force me to do this. 3 waves. After the voice fell, Lan Changsheng gritted his teeth and urged all his vitality. In an instant, swish, a sound of water flow was heard. Lan Changsheng held his hands in the air, and violent water-attributed energy surged. For a moment, the momentum of both sides was in a deadly confrontation. Needless to say, Su Chen's divine will fist, which was amplified by the 9 extremes, was great. A shadow of a mountain covered the sky, as if to suppress the entire void. Lan Changsheng's moves were also extraordinary. He was a practitioner of water-attributed energy. 3 waves, rise. At the moment when Lan Changsheng's attack was launched, a series of terrifying waves surged. 1, 2, 3. Su Chen's eyes condensed slightly, and Lan Changsheng's attack was actually condensed into 3 huge waves. Moreover, each wave was like a tsunami. Everything in front of the huge waves would be completely destroyed. This scene was like a natural disaster. Even Niu Changru, who was struggling in the thunder tribulation, couldn't help but condense his eyes, and was actually horrified in his heart. The ordinary masters of Jinglin Villa who dared not approach looked at Lan Changsheng with respect, as if they were looking at a god. Old Lan is so powerful. He is indeed the most respected person by the owner of the villa. This method is really not comparable to other masters. I'm afraid that even the East Venerable may not be the opponent of Old Lan. As for the West Venerable of Jinglin Villa who was mixed in the crowd, his face was full of frustration at this time. Sure enough, as the disciples said privately, among the senior leaders of Jinglin Villa, the East Venerable and Lan Changsheng were the real senior leaders. As for him and the North and South Venerables, they were just making up the numbers. Big brother, Uncle Master, Su Chen. One after another exclamations rang out. Everyone in Su Chen's camp was full of horror. They did not expect that Lan Changsheng, who was good at mechanical puppets and formations, would have such a martial arts boxing intention. Su Chen also became cautious. Obviously, Lan Changsheng's threefold wave is also a very terrifying boxing intention. One punch is heavier than the other. As expected, Su Chen's guess was verified. After Lan Changsheng threw a punch, he threw another one. And this punch actually pushed the fist intent in front forward. 1 punch. 2 punches. 3 punches. When this move was superimposed on the 3rd punch, the terrifying fist intent was even slightly faster than Su Chen's divine will fist. Boom. 3 huge waves, one after another, pressed down. Su Chen is not weak, and his divine will fist is very strong. But Lan Changsheng's triple waves are more terrifying. Fortunately, Su Chen is not completely without a chance. Although Lan Changsheng's moves are terrifying, he is not good at martial arts. People who are proficient in mechanical puppets and formations can hardly make great achievements in martial arts. And Lan Changsheng, puppets and formations are superb. How can he have time to practice martial arts? What's more, Su Chen is not completely without a trump card. He is also a physical body refiner in the heaven realm. Of course, even so, Su Chen dare not be careless. The power of the triple waves is terrifying, beyond imagination. 7 injury fist. Su Chen shouted. He was going to use the secret method he got from Qingshan sect, the 7 injury fist. This 7 injury fist is extremely powerful and can hurt people's internal organs. Before it was fully developed, there was a saying hurt yourself before hurting others. Therefore, everyone in Qingshan sect at that time stockpiled a lot of medicinal materials for repairing internal organs. But in fact, in addition to hurt yourself before hurting others, the 7 injury fist has another rule. Hurting yourself first hurts others more. If you use the 7 injury fist to stimulate yourself, you can burst out with stronger fighting power. Under normal circumstances, Su Chen is reluctant to use it. But now, it is time to use it. Once used, Lan Changsheng will have to pay the price with his life. Second update. Chapter 821. Life and Death of the Company Commander. 7 Injury Fist. In Su Chen's body, the vitality was roaming wildly. Suddenly, 7 large bags appeared on his body, and then slowly fell down. Su Chen frowned slightly, as if he was enduring great pain. The next moment, boom. Su Chen's aura surged. In fact, it was already very close to the level of the divine realm. You know, although Su Chen is a physical body refiner in the heavenly realm and a spiritual master in the divine realm, his vitality cultivation is still only at the peak of the innate realm. And at this moment, with the stimulation of the 7 injury fist on his body, Su Chen felt that he had taken another step forward. He had never felt that the vital energy martial god was so close to him. It was as if the vital energy divine realm was already within his reach. However, now he had no mind to comprehend the pleasure of the surge in strength, because Lan Changsheng's 3 waves had already hit. Go to hell. Su Chen urged the divine wolfist to transform into Yaodao Mountain. In an instant, the speed of the Yaodao Mountain Phantom soared. Originally, the Yaodao Mountain Phantom was extremely huge, and it instantly became even larger after the 3-fold increase. The momentum of falling is like a meteor hitting the earth. However, Lan Changsheng's triple wave is faster. The increase of each punch will make the speed of the previous punch soar. After several superpositions, the speed of the triple wave is almost faster than Yaodao Mountain. The fierce attacks of the 2 people are about to collide with each other in the blink of an eye. Su Chen and Lan Changsheng were shocked. Such a powerful attack may cause both of them to be injured. But at this moment, he can only pull up the defense and forcefully fight with Lan Changsheng. Invincible golden body. Su Chen gritted his teeth and urged the physical body of the heavenly man realm to move the invincible golden body. After the physical body was promoted to the heavenly man realm, the defense increase of the invincible golden body to Su Chen was not great, but it was better than nothing. On the opposite side, Lan Changsheng also shouted, "Mechanism, protect the body with puppets." The next second, the broken neural puppet that was originally broken by Su Chen actually rushed to Lan Changsheng's side, spliced into a piece of armor, and protected Lan Changsheng. Everyone in the battle was distracted by the fight between Su Chen and Lan Changsheng. Seeing this scene, they couldn't help but pause. Fuck, I don't know who it is, but he actually uttered a sweet word. The others also subconsciously stopped attacking and looked at Lan Changsheng. Looking at him, they saw that Lan Changsheng had completely changed. His height seemed to have increased by more than half, and he was covered in armor made of puppet parts, just like a mecha. Su Chen was also stunned and looked at Lan Changsheng. "Are you sure you are not a transformer?" No one expected that Lan Changsheng, an old man who played with mechanical puppets, could actually perform such an exaggerated method. At this moment, Su Chen's eyes became more and more solemn. As the name suggests, the puppet body protection is to use puppets to protect one's physical body. Lan Changsheng's defense has reached its peak. Su Chen even felt that his mecha defense was probably not much weaker than the physical body of the heaven realm. At this moment, Su Chen was even more fortunate that he used the 7 wounds fist. Boom. Boom. The defense of both sides reached its peak, and the 2 terrifying fists were about to collide. In an instant, many people stopped fighting and held their breath. Whoever wins may determine the direction of the next battle. At this time, no strong man dared to get involved in the battlefield of the 2 people's confrontation. The attacks of the 2 have even surpassed the middle stage of the god realm. Boom. The 2 fierce fists finally collided fiercely. Bang, bang. The 2 figures were thrown out together. One of the golden figures was Su Chen's undefeated golden body. The golden light flashed, like a golden man, falling from the sky. The other figure was black. The huge body was slowly disintegrating. It was Lan Changsheng who protected his body with a puppet body. The two attacks were equally terrifying. One attack was a fusion of the God Fist and the 7 Wounds Fist. The instantaneous attack could even threaten the late stage of the God Realm. And Lan Changsheng's 3 waves, one punch after another, gradually increased the terrifying power, and it was not at all false. Su Chen couldn't help but cry out in pain. He felt as if he was hit by a Mars. Countless bones were broken. The immortal energy in his body was circling crazily to repair his injuries. Compared with Su Chen, Lan Changsheng seemed to be much better. Even though those protective puppets had disintegrated, he had no injuries on his body. However, Su Chen sneered. This was just an appearance. The attack of the 7 Injury Fist was not just an appearance on the surface. The moment the two collided, 7 completely different energies had already invaded Lan Changsheng's body. At this moment, Lan Changsheng was just holding on. Don't say that Lan Changsheng was just taking advantage of the puppet armor, and he was not a real Shinran realm physical body refining strongman. Even if he was, he might not be able to withstand the attack of the 7 Injury Fist. The attack of the 7 Injury Fist was a bit like shooting a bull from behind a mountain. There was no injury on the surface, but the internal organs might have turned into a ball of meat paste. Kill. Su Chen shouted again, even if his own breath was unstable due to the backlash of the 7 Injury Fist. But he would never miss this opportunity. Take your life while you are sick. Su Chen punched out, and the terrifying energy made the space tremble slightly. He was unstoppable and extremely terrifying. Su Chen was seriously injured by the backlash of the 7 Injury Fist. This time, he did not use the 7 Injury Fist, and even the Divine Will Fist was not used. After all, he had consumed too much power in his body, and could not support it. Even so, Su Chen's attack in the physical realm of heaven and man was far more powerful than that of ordinary divine realm warriors, and even approached the middle stage of the divine realm. On the other hand, Lan Changsheng was even worse. Seeing Su Chen coming to kill him, a trace of panic flashed across his originally calm face. Lan Changsheng had already noticed his own situation. The 7 energies were like maggots on the tarsal bones, destroying his internal organs crazily. Even though the internal organs of a divine realm warrior were stronger than those of an ordinary warrior. But under the attack of these 7 energies, his internal organs were all broken. It was not that Lan Changsheng's strength was not strong enough, but that the attack of the 7 Injury Fist was too weird. Killing 1000 enemies, injuring 800 of yourself. This is the best interpretation of the 7 Injury Fist. Even Su Chen would not dare to use such a boxing style often. Su Chen flashed over and punched him hard. Lan Changsheng subconsciously raised his hand to block the attack. At this moment, the intense pain in his internal organs made Lan Changsheng cry out in pain. The vitality that had just condensed was shattered again. At this moment, Yi Changru escaped from the thunder bombardment. Break the void. Without saying a word, he attacked with a mental force, trying to interrupt Su Chen's attack. However, Su Chen was determined to kill. Kill. He shouted in his heart, and the expression on his face was slightly distorted. He took Yi Changru's blow and wanted to kill Lan Changsheng. Bang! The fist fell with a bang. Lan Changsheng, whose internal organs were already seriously injured, had no defense at this time. Puff! Lan Changsheng's life fire was completely destroyed by Su Chen. In an instant, his whole body was thrown out like a broken sack. Lan Changsheng, dead. The 3rd update is here. 3 updates today. Good night everyone. Thank you for your support. Chapter 822 Mysterious Talisman. Plop. Lan Changsheng's body fell heavily to the ground, and there was no sound. Su Chen's plan was finally realized. Lan Changsheng, a strong man who was good at mechanisms and formations, was sent by Su Chen to reunite with his 2 apprentices. However, Su Chen also covered his head and staggered. The power of the void breaking slash was extremely terrifying. Su Chen's head was in great pain. Just now, in order to completely kill Lan Changsheng, he took Yi Changru's move. This was Su Chen's choice. It is better to break one arm than to hurt his 10 fingers. Su Chen had to do this. Fortunately, he did it. Su Chen endured the tearing pain in his sea of consciousness and mobilized his spirit to expel Yi Changru's mental power. I still overestimated my mental defense. I also underestimated the power of Yi Changru's void breaking slash. Who is Yi Changru? The East Venerable of Jinglin Villa. In Jinglin Villa, except for the owner of the villa, almost no one can say that he can win. Even a strong man in the middle stage of the divine realm dare not take his full strength attack. If Su Chen had not been a spirit transformed from the yin yang god, he would have been seriously injured and dying. However, Su Chen's condition was not very good now. Su Chen, you deserve to die. Yi Changru's eyes were red with anger. Just now, he watched Lan Changsheng fall. Break the void slash. Yi Changru shouted and attacked again. He wanted to kill Su Chen while he was seriously injured. Now, in Yi Changru's eyes, Su Chen's threat was already at its maximum. Since Su Chen had the ability to kill Lan Changsheng, he must have the strength to kill him, Yi Changru. If he didn't kill him quickly, he would most likely die in Su Chen's hands in the future. Suddenly, Yi Changru condensed the break the void slash again and slashed at Su Chen. Brother, Uncle Master. A series of exclamations rang out, and several figures rushed over quickly. Cheng Xiansun, Zhang Taian and others hoped to block Yi Changru's attack for Su Chen before he recovered. However, how could their speed be comparable to mental power? What's more, there are opponents blocking him. You want to save Su Chen? You're dreaming. Yuzin Bei snorted coldly. He and Zhu Guodong looked at each other and blocked Zhang Taian. As for Cheng Xiansun, the situation was not much better. He was originally slightly weaker than Yan Maohua, not to mention that Yan Maohua was trying his best to stop him. 30 years in the east, 30 years in the west. Before, it was Zhang Taian and Cheng Xiansun who delayed time. Now, the situation has reversed again. Su Chen, you're dead. Yi Changru's face was ferocious. He seemed to have seen the scene of Su Chen's silent fall. Now, for Yi Changru, being able to kill Su Chen is more important than anything else. It can even be said that even the fall of Changsheng is not completely unacceptable. Yi Changru burst out with murderous intent, and the terrifying void-breaking slash seemed to break through the time limit and arrived in front of Su Chen in the blink of an eye. Su Chen's figure was motionless. The terrifying void-breaking slash was ready to invade from the sea of consciousness and go straight to Su Chen's spirit. At this time, Su Chen's consciousness, however, was still recovering slowly from the mental trauma just now. However, the speed of the void-breaking slash was extremely fast, so fast that even in the world of consciousness, it was like a meteor. Boy, wake up quickly, or you're done. A weak figure was extremely anxious. It was the old man Yangshan from Changyang Mountain. At this time, Su Chen was still recovering with difficulty. In his consciousness, apart from the severe pain, there was only the last scene of the battle just now, which was Lan Changsheng's 3 waves. Apart from these, he seemed to have forgotten the real world outside. This was not Su Chen's intention. Instead, he took the blow of the void-breaking slash hard, which brought him considerable sequelae. The call of the old man Yangshan did not affect Su Chen. This made the old man Yangshan's face look even uglier. Boy, wake up quickly. Otherwise, your sea of consciousness will collapse. The old man Yangshan shouted desperately, like an ant on a hot pot. Boy, wake up soon. It doesn't matter if you die. Don't drag me to be buried with you. The old man Yangshan seemed to be getting more and more anxious. What can he do? At this time, Su Chen seemed to have fallen into an extremely mysterious situation, and everything in the outside world seemed to have nothing to do with him. I'm going to be dragged to death by you. The old man Yangshan was cursing, and he didn't seem to be in a very good mood. Just as he said, if Su Chen's sea of consciousness collapsed, he would also be affected and die here. Moreover, he only had a trace of true spirit now, and his situation was worse than Su Chen. After all, Su Chen still had the spirit god, and perhaps he would have a chance to reincarnate again. But he only had a trace of true spirit. If there was no sea of consciousness to live in, he would become a rootless duckweed and be in danger of falling at any time. Finally, a trace of pain appeared on the face of the old man Yangshan. He waved his hand, and a golden talisman floated out. Arsehole, this is the only good thing I have left. I'm wasting it on you. I'm really losing. The old man Yangshan cursed, but his movements were not slow at all. He stretched out his hand and tapped on the golden talisman. Buzz, an invisible wave spread out. Before the breaking void slash hit Su Chen's spirit, the golden talisman instantly turned into golden dots. Sure. a golden light shield appeared. The golden light shield was shaped like a big bell. Su Chen's spirit and the old man's true spirit were trapped under the big bell, like two old monks who were about to die. All this happened in a flash. In the blink of an eye. The breaking void slash had already struck. Boom. A roar like an explosion sounded. Crack. Then, there was a sound of porcelain breaking. Yi Changru's breaking void slash fell fiercely on the golden bell, transformed by the golden bell soul protection talisman. After the roar, the breaking void slash shattered. The big golden bell was destroyed with it. Su Chen's sea of consciousness shook for a while, but he was not seriously injured. I'm so heartbroken. This is the golden bell soul protection talisman. This is really screwed. The old man Yangshan was furious, with a look of pain on his face. At this time, a rather playful voice came from the old man Yangshan. It seems that you, old man, still have a life-saving trump card. The old man Yangshan was shocked. He saw Su Chen's little soul god, staring at him with a half smile on his face. You woke up. The old man Yangshan looked panicked. First update. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 823, Learning and Applying. Then, the old man Yangshan glared. He looked at Su Chen angrily. Why don't you take action? This is your sea of consciousness, and you don't protect it. Su Chen smiled. If I take action, how can I know that you have hidden good things? Su Chen's eyes looked at the old man. It seems that he wants to see if the old man has other treasures. Don't look. This time, I really lost everything in my trouser pockets. The old man Yangshan said unhappily. Now, he has already broken the jar and broken it. Tell me, what was that golden light just now? You are a true spirit. Why can you carry such a treasure? Su Chen's spirit god asked. The old man Yangshan said angrily. That is the golden bell soul protection talisman. As for the effect, you have also seen it. It can protect the true spirit from extinction. That's it? Su Chen's spirit god frowned. This is the old man Yangshan's treasure. Is it only this effect? What else? The old man curled his lips and said, for us cultivators, as long as the true spirit is not extinguished, there is still hope. Su Chen could not help but nod slightly. The old man Yangshan was right. As long as the true spirit is not extinguished, there will always be a chance to seize another body and cultivate again. Hand over the others as well. Su Chen raised his eyebrows. Su Chen was envious of this kind of talisman that can protect the true spirit. No more. Anyway, I only have one true spirit. You can see for yourself. The old man Yangshan spread his hands like a dead pig, not afraid of boiling water. The corners of Su Chen's mouth twitched. He did not force it. In fact, he was not awake a long time ago. He woke up when the golden bell soul protection talisman fell. He just wanted to trick the old man Yangshan. Just now, Su Chen also heard the old man Yangshan's anxiety. It didn't sound fake. The old man Yangshan said with a distressed look on his face. Now that this talisman has been used up, I can't help you with anything. From now on, you can only rely on yourself. Su Chen was a little disappointed, but he quickly adjusted his mentality. The conversation between the two was a conversation of mental power and thoughts. Although he spoke slowly, the communication was actually completed in an instant. Su Chen regained consciousness and slowly opened his eyes. At this time, Yi Changru was still grinning, waiting for Su Chen's soul fire to extinguish. However, when he saw Su Chen open his eyes again, the grin on Yi Changru's face completely solidified. Yi Changru was stunned on the spot. As a spiritual master in the middle stage of the divine realm, he naturally knew how terrifying his attack was. Breaking the void slash. It can break through the void and is not restricted by space. It cannot be controlled by anyone other than a strong man in the middle stage of the divine realm. The horror of this move is that it is both real and unreal, and the second is that it breaks through the void. And now, breaking the void slash goes straight in and kills into Su Chen's sea of consciousness. As a result, Su Chen opened his eyes, as if nothing had happened. The result of the feedback made Yi Changru dumbfounded. The void breaking slash was broken. You know, the void breaking slash is his unique skill, and it has never happened in the previous collisions. What does this mean? This means that Su Chen not only did not fall, but also had the means to deal with his void breaking slash. Damn it. Thinking of this situation, Yi Changru's face became solemn. Even a fear rose in his heart. Mental power is invisible and intangible. No matter what kind of weapon it condenses into, it is not surprising. But now, the void breaking slash is broken. No, I can't give him another chance to grow. Yi Changru's eyes were filled with murderous intent. Boy, you force me to do this. Yi Changru roared in his heart. Suddenly, he urged the spirit to go all out. Suddenly, a larger void breaking slash condensed and slashed towards Su Chen. The attack of the spiritual master is different from that of the Zhou Wanqiu martial god. Under normal circumstances, the spiritual master will keep 3 points of strength, just to prevent stealing chickens and losing rice. After all, if the Zhou Wanqiu martial god fights, at most the body will be injured. But if the spiritual master fights, the spirit may be destroyed at any time. Therefore, the spiritual power must be retained, just in case. If the spiritual power of the spiritual master is fully released, it means that this spiritual master has completely fought to the death. Now, Yi Changru is doing this. At this moment, the void breaking slash he condensed again is more than 30% larger than before. Void breaking slash is already extremely terrifying. Now that this void breaking slash is larger, the attack strength will naturally be stronger. When Su Chen's spirit saw the huge void breaking slash, his eyes could not help but condense slightly, and there was a little more vigilance in his eyes. Before, although the void breaking slash was terrifying, it was still within Su Chen's tolerance. The phantom of Yaodao mountain only shook. But now this large void breaking slash, if it is cut down, maybe even the phantom of Yaodao mountain may be split in half. The old man Yangshan urged anxiously. Boy, think of a way. Such a terrifying mental attack, I can't do anything. Facing the urging of the old man Yangshan, Su Chen's spirit calmly said, don't worry, I have a way. The old man Yangshan was shocked and very surprised. What is the way? You will know later. Su Chen's spirit showed a calm face. Although this large-scale void breaking slash is powerful, Su Chen is not without a way. If it was before, he could only use the phantom of Yaodao mountain to resist. The consequences of doing so were very risky for Su Chen. But now, it is different. Because, in the fight with Lan Changsheng, Su Chen felt a little bit of the essence of 3D waves. Although he did not fully comprehend it, he also had a lot of experience. Go! Su Chen shouted in his heart. Suddenly, a long sword transformed by mental power went forward and slashed towards the void breaking slash. This long sword was not the first time Su Chen condensed it. However, under normal circumstances, it was aimed at those warriors who were not good at mental power. If fighting against a real spiritual master, this long sword has little advantage. Even worse, it can't even compare to Yao Daoshan's phantom. However, Yao Daoshan's phantom is limited to weak attack. Although Yao Daoshan can be said to be invincible in defense, it is more of a passive defense in the battle between spiritual masters. Especially when encountering a being with a stronger soul realm like Yi Changru, Yao Daoshan's phantom's attack is even more inadequate. However, Su Chen's attack is more than that. Second update. There will be another update later. About 10 minutes. Chapter 824, Decapitation. Sensing the spiritual longsword bursting out from Su Chen's sea of consciousness, Yi Changru, who had originally looked solemn, sneered. Su Chen's spiritual longsword is indeed not weak, but that is only for ordinary spiritual masters. For him, this is not a mysterious method at all. Any normal spiritual master can turn his spiritual power into a blade. Such attacks are very common among spiritual masters. However, the next moment, the sneer on Yi Changru's face rose. The scene in front of him suddenly made him feel familiar. 3 waves. Su Chen shouted in his heart. At the same time, another blade light flew out from Su Chen's sea of consciousness, aiming directly at the handle of the previous spiritual sword. That's right. This is exactly the method of Lan Changsheng's 3 waves. However, Su Chen is not a water-attributed vitality and cannot be driven by martial arts for the time being. However, Su Chen has found another way to use mental power to drive the spiritual sword. This is not difficult for him at all. So, a magical scene happened. Su Chen's second spiritual sword rushed towards the handle of the first long sword. Bang! The speed of the first spiritual sword increased by 10%. In the battle between powerful gods, even if the speed is increased by only 10%, the impact is extremely huge. No one dares to underestimate it. Moreover, this is not the end. Su Chen's spiritual power is extremely magnificent. The spirit god transformed by the combination of yin and yang is stronger than ordinary spirit gods. Even if the realm is not as good as Yi Changru, the quality is not inferior. However, Su Chen's breakthrough time is still short, and he has not yet fully understood it. Then, the third long sword appeared. The third long sword continued to push the second long sword in the same way. The speed of the second long sword increased sharply, and pushed towards the first long sword again. In an instant, the speed of the first long sword increased by half again. This time, it was Su Chen's full strength, and the increase could only be so much at most. At this moment, Su Chen's first long sword had already come into close contact with Yi Changru's breaking void slash. Clang! A sound of metal clashing rang out. Snap! Su Chen's first long sword shattered in an instant, and Yi Changru's void breaking slash couldn't help but tremble slightly. Then, Su Chen's second and third long swords hit the void breaking slash that Yi Changru had condensed one after another. Dang! 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 The sound of metal and iron continued until the third long sword was completely broken. Yi Changru's void breaking slash was still huge, but its luster was dim. In terms of size, it was more than 40% smaller than before. Seeing this scene, Su Chen's face eased a little. At least such an attack was within his tolerance range. The power of the three waves is indeed extraordinary. Although it was just a small test, the power also made Su Chen very happy. This time, the harvest of killing Lion Changsheng is really not small. Not only did he kill a strong enemy, but he also learned a good technique. This is still Su Chen has not fully understood. If he can fully understand it, Su Chen's vitality, mental power and other attacks will increase dramatically. Perhaps, if he meets the mid-stage god realm again, he can easily kill him. This is not because Su Chen is arrogant, but because the effect of the threefold wave gives him confidence. Su Chen has the 9 extreme strength, but the consumption of the 9 extreme strength is too great. Moreover, as Su Chen's martial arts realm improves, the increase of the 9 extreme strength gradually weakens. Especially for the power of the god realm, the 9 extreme strength cannot provide a 9-fold increase, like it did in the innate realm. If it is a life and death moment, the 9 extreme strength can still be used as a life-saving trick. But if it is in an ordinary battle, the increase of the threefold wave is not as exaggerated as the 9 extreme strength, but the consumption is not so terrible. With Su Chen's spiritual characteristics of the unity of yin and yang, he can even use the threefold wave all the time. This is. Yi Changru's face was solemn. He finally understood why he felt familiar. Isn't the move that Su Chen used the trick that Lion Changsheng used before? It's just that Su Chen used the spiritual sword to show it. This bastard, when did he learn it? Yi Changru was shocked and scared. He had countless questions, but Su Chen couldn't answer them at all. After being weakened by Sandy Lang's spiritual sword, the void breaking slash had lost its previous power when it reached Su Chen's sea of consciousness. In fact, its power was not as strong as Yi Changru's ordinary attack. Divine Wolfist. Su Chen's spirit god shouted softly. Then, he took a stance and punched. Suddenly, the phantom of Yaodao Mountain appeared in the sea of consciousness. The phantom of Yaodao Mountain was huge, especially the special charm, which made Su Chen invincible. If the spirit power was all out, Su Chen would not be sure. But now, it was completely different. The power of the void breaking slash was greatly reduced, and it was slashed on the phantom of Yaodao Mountain. The phantom of Yaodao Mountain just trembled slightly, and then it was still as stable as Mount Tay. On the other hand, the void breaking slash snapped. In an instant, it turned into fragments. A lot of spiritual power remained in Su Chen's sea of consciousness. Kill. Su Chen shouted softly. While the breaking void slash had not formed again, he rushed straight to Yi Changru with a terrifying spiritual sword. After the spiritual sword, Su Chen's attack did not stop. He knew how big the gap between his mental power and Yi Changru's was. Then, the second and third sword beams appeared. Their speed was still as fast as lightning. But even so, Su Chen was still not satisfied. How could he not use the killing move of Sandy Lang? Suddenly, Sandy Lang was used. The third sword beam hit the second one, and the second one hit the first one. In this way, the speed of this spiritual sword was as fast as lightning. One sword after another. Definitely chop off the head and don't spare. Lian Changsheng is dead, and Li Changru should also go on the road. The third update is here. 3 updates for the time being. Good night, everyone. Tomorrow, a big man will appear. Chapter 825 The Mysterious Man of Rona. Su Chen imitated the 3 waves, and used the spiritual sword. The speed was extremely fast. If an ordinary strong man in the early stage of the divine realm encountered it, he would probably not even have a chance to react. However, Li Changru was not an ordinary early stage of the divine realm. He was in the middle stage of the divine realm. Moreover, he was also a spiritual master in the middle stage of the divine realm. Naturally, the speed would not be too slow. Whoosh! Su Chen's sword light flashed. In the blink of an eye, it arrived in front of Yi Changru's sea of consciousness. Yi Changru's spirit was out of his body. The spirit transformed from the single yin god was slightly gloomy. Yi Changru's spirit hand pinched the formula, and the majestic mental power condensed crazily. In a flash, it condensed into a rather ancient pass. The ancient pass was tall and steep. Su Chen looked at it and couldn't help but raise his eyebrows slightly. Yi Changru's use of this kind of pass was a bit beyond his expectations. However, although he was surprised, the attack of the spiritual sword did not stop there. Swish! When the first spiritual sword arrived at the pass, the second spiritual sword followed closely. The sharp power was equally terrifying. Although the attack of the spiritual master was related to the realm of soul cultivation, the use of magical skills was also the key to victory. Su Chen's spiritual swords came one after another. Whoosh! The first spiritual sword instantly reached the pass. Dang! There was a crisp sound, and it suddenly exploded. Snap! The spiritual sword suddenly exploded. However, Yi Changru's spiritual pass only shook slightly. Swish! Swish! Su Chen's second and third spiritual swords came one after another, hitting the pass fiercely. The tall pass shook violently, but it remained firm. Su Chen activated his spiritual sword again, but the result was still the same. Even though his spiritual sword was like a storm, it was still difficult to break through the pass. One step, one level. How many years did it take Yi Changru to cultivate to his current realm? And how long has it been since Su Chen entered the spiritual master realm? The gap in realm and experience cannot be completely made up by a little secret method. Even if Su Chen burst out with all his strength, he can only be on par with Yi Changru at most. After a long time of attack, Su Chen's eyebrows were downcast. Looking at Yi Changru's slightly gloomy spirit, Su Chen's mind moved. Swish! A handful of yellow paper appeared in his hand again. It was the thunder-inducing talisman that he had used before. The dark and the dark. 9 heavens thunder-inducing curse started for me as the obscure spell was chanted. Above the sky, dark clouds surged, and thunder brewed again. It's not that Su Chen can't cast the 9 heavens thunder-inducing curse instantly, but the longer the thunder brews, the more powerful it is. The 9 heavens thunder-inducing curse, just chanting the spell to induce it, can attract thunder. If the talisman is used to bless it, the thunder can be more powerful. Similarly, if the thunder is given some more time to brew and accumulate more energy, the power of the thunder will only be more terrifying. In the previous few times of attracting thunder, Su Chen only wanted to delay Yi Changru so that he could not interfere with his battle with Lian Changsheng. As for now, Su Chen wanted to kill Yi Changru directly. One less big enemy will reduce a big resistance in the future. Yi Changru's face changed drastically. He was a single yin god transformed into a spiritual god, and he was most afraid of the power of thunder. What's more, he had seen it before. Yi Changru hurriedly wanted to stop it. But what can he do? In front of the power of heaven and earth, any means are useless. What's more, Yi Changru is only a spiritual power immortal master, not good at Taoism. Boom. Thunder rolls. The terrifying pressure even made many ordinary masters of Jinglin Villa retreat again and again, trembling in fear. In other places in Dongzhou province, in Jinglin Villa, they are all masters. However, here, they are just minions who may die at any time. Seeing the fight between Su Chen and others, these masters realized what real terror is. In the face of the pressure of thunder tribulation, they dared not move forward at all. Yi Changru's face changed greatly, but he had been locked and suppressed by the power of thunder. At this moment, a roar came. Boy, stop it quickly, don't hurt the venerable. Unexpectedly, another strong man came over. Everyone looked back. The moment they saw the person coming, the masters of Jinglin Villa couldn't help but show a trace of joy on their faces. The owner of the villa. The owner of the villa is here. This is great. The owner of the villa has always been elusive, and now he is really saved. All the masters of Jinglin Villa were immediately surprised. The person who came was the owner of Jinglin Villa. The owner of Jinglin Villa. Su Chen couldn't help but raise his eyebrows slightly. There was a little more vigilance in his eyes, ready to take action at any time. Su Chen had only heard of the owner of Jinglin Villa and had never even seen him. Even among the tiger guards, there was not much information about him. Su Chen looked up. He saw that the person who came was tall and majestic, but there was an uncomfortable aura around him. A blood-red cape fluttered in the wind behind him, adding a bit of ferocity. He was wearing a strange mask on his face. What was most strange was that the owner of the manor had a pair of strange horns on his head, which was more than that of ordinary people. It looked scary and funny. Owner, save me. Seeing the man, Yi Changru's eyes lit up, as if he saw his own owner killing people. Boy, let him go. The owner of the manor, who was a rising star, stared at Su Chen coldly through the mask. However, he did not enter the area covered by thunder. Okay, I'll let him go right away. Su Chen's mouth curled up. The next moment, he shouted, "Thunder, fall." As soon as the words fell, the thunder that had been brewing for a long time rolled down and directly drowned Yi Changru. First update. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.